Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Full Length Cup Challenge, FLCC Nostalgia 400 here live on Maconi Entertainment. My name's Kirk Mills. Alongside me today will be Howie Burrows up here in the booth. He's also going to be producing with us today. So we're going to have ourselves a 400-mile race here around Darlington, South Carolina. And I can tell you right now, it is just a bunch of wonderful looking paint schemes. We're going to go through that here in a little bit. And it's one of the race weekends that we just can't seem to wait to get to week in and week out for these drivers. Some of them love this place and the other ones absolutely despise it. And that's really going to make for an entertaining race. And Howie, got to ask you, now that we're here, talk about what happened last week. Do you remember who ended up coming out on top? We got an image for that.
Last week, it turned out to be a little bit more controversial since the time it dropped. Of course, we did have our race winner, Robert Miller, crossing the line, but a lot of talk after the race, of course, about aero blocking from other teams. Well, a harsh penalty came down from the top. Tommy Gossett suspended for the rest of the season after aero blocking lead lap cars after slowing down after the fact. Going to make a very big change to his team and to the championship points. Paul Hill currently looking out on best, but lots and lots of time to play for, of course, in the championship. Points are going to matter all the way to the end. We say that every single week, like it's going to change. So much time for this to change and so much time for the picture to open up.
You're absolutely right. And so I don't even really think too much about this type of stuff yet. I'm going to hold off. All I know is that the folks at the top, they're going to be consistent. We're going to watch the top guys there to see how they do. But again, man, we got a full field, 43 cars, Howie, and that's not very common. You don't get to see full fields like that very often, going the full distance of the actual race. For those of you who have never watched the Full Length Cup Challenge, that's what they do. We mirror the NASCAR Cup Series, and we go every single weekend, we do a full-length race, the same length of the Cup guys in real life, and we go where they go. Unless, of course, iRacing doesn't have the track, in which case we find some sort of close, similar track to cover it. But today, 43 drivers trying to make their go at trying to get a win here, but there's a lot of favorites. We're going to go through them here shortly, as right now, practice is coming to an end, and we're about to get on the grid to see our starting lineup for tonight's race. And I cannot personally wait to show you some of these paint schemes. They are beautiful. The Nostalgia 400 is about to get underway. Here we go. Let's see if we can't get these lovely graphics brought up, and we can see if we can't show the cars as well. Let's see if it pops up. Hopefully it does. There we are. Take a look out of the gate. Nolan Hodgson driving that 12 car. Kind of reminds me of an old Ryan Newman mixed with maybe an old, let's see. It's that 12 look from the past where he flipped at Daytona, but it could also be Jeremy Mayfield style 12, either or. Kind of cool looking car. Then to the outside, Patrick Gitter in that 21 car. He talked about it earlier this week. He's driving with that 21 from, let me make sure I got this right. Here we go. He had it in the chat. He said it was the early days of Whelen Motorsports, throwback to Sonny Whelan's Grand Am C6. Now, then you see Adam Benefiel had a paint scheme made by Johan Seminario as a throwback for him specifically. Really cool looking machine. And to the outside, Lucas Hoytsma throwing it back to the Biff. Of course, be like Biff. This is the year of the Biff. And now you got the 41 of Andrew Dyson. Kind of reminds me of that, what do they call it? In the movie Talladega Nights, kind of throwback to like a Jean Girard looking car. And to the outside, a Jeff Gordon throwback for Sean Conklin in the 58. Starting 7th, Nicholas Roman and then 8th is Yoon Lim. And I got to tell you, these guys did not want to join, did not want to play today. Then you got Neil Pearson in the 62. Starting in 9th, and Hunter Truel starting in that Tony Stewart throwback in the 71.
I hope these all loaded properly. I've spent a lot of time trying to make sure they did, but there'll be one more refresh. If yours hasn't shown up properly on the grid, we'll hope it shows properly in the race, and if not, it's Training Paint to start. It's Jonathan Delaney up in 11th, next to Paul Hill in 12th. Shout out anything you see here.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Mark Martin there on the 11 car, but earlier the 62 is actually running a Casey Kane throwback, so I'm just going to put that out there. It will update a little later, but yeah.
Now Hutchinson up in 13th with Blake Kluart in 14th.
Yeah, that's Greg Biffle and Tony Stewart throwbacks. Very cool.
Alan Duggar, and I expect we will see Matthew David Woods loaded anytime soon. I've hit the button one more time. I deleted every single paint, and, you know, sometimes it just does its thing anyway. Cody B. Johnson next to Sean Anderson in 17 and 18, and then we have Robert Miller and Paul Gallimore in 19 and 20.
Yep. And you'll have to forgive me, Paul. I'll have to look up to find out exactly what that's throwing it back to, but it's a cool looking paint nonetheless. Starting in 21st tonight, got Matt DeCiani to the outside, Corey Moore. These guys not really throwing it back much at all, but that's okay. Then Johnny Avila throwing it back to the big man himself, Big E. You know, and to the outside, he got Alex Murray in the 22. Starting in 25th will be Jeremy B. Brown, and to the outside, the 5-car, Bobby Anderson.
You like the USPS. I mean, they're not going to get your packages to you anytime soon in circles, but I do like what he's going at with that one, Bobby.
I guess so, yeah. You look here at Alex Coffey in the 54, starting 27th. Cody Porter in the 04, starting there to his outside. Then you got an old Bobby Labonte looking paint, the 48. Tyler Hunter, and to the outside, Evan Mesnard. Looks like that we're going to need to update some of these paints.
But I'll spotlight every
Devin Medeiros in the
that doesn't load.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep. We got Devin Medeiros in the 20, and Timothy Harper in the 23, starting 31st, 32nd. 33rd, Casey Graves in the 01, and to the outside of that, Dale Jr. throwback, 34, Thomas Kolmacheski. 35 will be Stephen Williams in the 98, and to their outside, starting 36, will be Raymond Root in the 51. 37th, William Owens in the 30, and to the outside, Tanner Marty in the 29. 39th will be Kevin Zosiak in the 37, and to their outside, Cliff Mullins in the 44. And Carl Edwards throwback, Jedi Taylor in the 60, and to the outside, Brandon Hastings in the 81. Then, of course, you got Jose Medina in the 40 car. I believe that's the old Citgo paint scheme. Really cool to see. As it looks like now, we are doubled up, getting ready to go. 293 laps. Holy cow, long way to go. Got to get to lap 90 for stage 1. And stage 2 will be at 185. You got 5 tires set, so make sure you take care of your stuff underneath you.
It might be more than that.
You will
That's on
need
me.
to.
I think it's 10. Double it up from last week. That's the one
10.
button I forgot to hit. But it's still 13x despite the race length.
Yep, absolutely right. 10. There we go. All right, coming out turn number 4. Reach down, pull them belts tight one more time. Pace car in pit road through that restart zone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Oh, they're wrecking at the start-finish line. The 41 spinning in front of the field. 3, 4, 5 cars all spinning. Everyone else on the brakes trying not to hit anybody. Coming into turn number 1. Huge checkups, and it was all from a missed shift on the bottom of the racetrack from P1.
Didn't look too brutal from my distance, but I do think there was one meatball out there on the field. That's the 41 of Andrew Dyson. Is really the first car that spins in this. You'll be able to catch that front row and see quite what happened to them. It's a checkup. Yeah, that 12 slows, a little bit of contact. 1, 2, 3. You think not too many cars get too badly bruised here, but actually Hunter Truel takes a meatball shot against the wall. I'm surprised that a hit like that is really going to generate that. We'll take one more look at his car specifically. Oh, that's unlucky. That just might,
he
just
broke
be on the rear.
No, he just broke a rear toe link. That's all that is. He's going to have to come down pit road to get that fixed, and a toe link's anywhere from 6 to 8 minutes to repair. So it's going to be a while before we see him back out there, and unfortunately, that's just how it is. He might have to fight back from multiple laps down, but after just one lap, we had a crazy restart. 12 car Nolan Hodgson spun the tires, trying to save the car, and that checkup really just caused everybody to keep going through. And I gotta say, that's definitely not a good thing to see. A lot of cars involved in that, and right now we have some cars choosing to come down pit road, some choosing to stay out on the racetrack. And so we're going to be under caution here. Lap 3 of 293. Got a ways to go. We're going to make sure we get these paints refreshed Probably go into the files, delete every single file that has the cars in there, and then have it re-download from scratch. Typically is the best way to do it, I have found. We'll see if that happens or if it
I
works
did that
out.
during the grid. So if any driver can tell me theirs looks wrong out of those three, I will do it one more time for them. But I actually did, during the gridding, do that. The cars went white. They've come back. I just checked all three that have iRacing liveries, and they're still iRacing liveries. So welcome to the world of trading paints. It works all the time, except the times that it doesn't.
Yeah, I'll see if I can't send some of the paint schemes that I'm seeing on my end, and also the highlight videos at the end of the week will have the correct paints in there as well. You'll see that all around as we continue. But yeah, the 16 throwing it back to Greg Biffle as well. That's something to keep in mind, and that's good. That's 16 car chose to do that. Really excited to see that as we continue. But up front, that really changed the way the front looked. Nolan Hodgson was in the lead spot, but now let's see if I can't actually send the actual files here. Maybe that would be the best way to do this. Just bear with me. We'll see what we can figure out. In the meantime, we got doubled up for the restart. Up front again, these guys, it is going to be one of the restarts that is going to be important. Hopefully we can get it taken care of safely this time. We'll find out. Heading down the back, the front row, Gitter and Hoytsma, Conklin Hodgson, June Salim, and Adam Benefiel, with Blake Kluwa, Jonathan Delaney, Matthew David Wood, and Ralph Hutchinson's top 10 starting positions. Again, we will get this stuff taken care of sooner rather than later. Here we go through this restart zone and on the front straightaway, and we're just going to watch this thing for the first couple of laps. Keep an eye on it. I think it's going to be interesting. Keep an eye. Here we go. Pace car dives into the pit lane. Let's try this again. All right, let's try and go a full lap without any mistakes, folks. Let's see. It's really easy to spin the tires, so keep in mind of that. Here we go. Oh, another one. Not a good restart on the bottom. Top line got a great jump again. Into turn number 1 for the first time today. Single filed out for the first 6, it looks like. Heading down the back straightaway. Everyone's trying to get settled in.
Single filers, it's going to be for quite some time on Darlington. If you watched a lot of yesterday, I often like to keep the Friday night lights race in my memory. I like to remember how that one went. It will often affect the flavour of the next day that's on the way. A lot of the same drivers across the two leagues, of course. It's a difficult track. They call it the Lady in Black. It's too tough to tame for a reason. You can't pass around there. We saw plenty of it, but it's not something that you do unless it's given to you easily. You have to just try and battle your way around the high banks instead. So every driver mostly keeping to their own, double the length, of course, of yesterday's race. So we don't want to be having a chain-wrecking fiesta like before on Blake Kluwa here. Not seeing any serious battles around the field. Next gen also a little bit harder to get those moves done in with the dirty air. So this is going to be very much a driving skill survival game.
Absolutely right, man. It's going to be one of those days that's just, man, I just can't wait to see how they're going to be able to handle it. But you see that they gotten single filed out. It is so difficult to handle these cars. I went out there and did some practice laps on a few setups, and I got to tell you right now, this car is just on edge most of the time. You got to be very careful with it. Anything could happen at any point to any of these guys. So up front, Gitter's got the lead. He's gotten the assumption that he's got control right now of this whole thing. Then you got Sean Conklin. He's been up front most every race this week in a good position right behind him. And Hoytsma's about a half second further back. He won yesterday in the Friday Night Light Series, as everybody else still continues to stay single file through these first couple corners, first couple laps. It's going to be a little while before we start seeing any real big moves happen, but just trying to get the tires warmed up, I think, early, trying to get in a rhythm.
Closest driver to a pass, I think. The closest one to someone's bumper is Blake Kluwa. Big bubble does form behind these next-gen cars, where often it's hard to make the pass when you're within that 10th and a half, but he's been running just a little bit closer than most in the line. Everybody's keeping it very, very, very easy, though. I know in the O'Reillys there was a lot of side-by-side moving, but I just have the feeling it's not going to come as naturally to the cars this week. It's going to be very, very much a game of just making your line and saving those tyres. It's 10 sets rather than 5. Would you believe I forgot to modify one thing? But it's 400 miles and you're going to want to use a lot of them. You want some saved over for the end of the race. And once burned theirs, yeah, first Darlington stripe I've spotted. That's Patrick Gitters up in the wall. We're going to be catching plenty more drivers just tagging it along the way. Nolan Hodgson side by side gets there on an Adam Benefield on exit. That's a clean pass first in the top 5.
You know, Nolan Hodgson had that little stumble there at the very beginning of the race, but that 12th car, you know, trying to just make it work, try to come back from that mistake right here. Look at this Jeff Gordon looking paint right now, battling with the 21. This is the battle for course the lead. If the 58's able to make the pass, he's probably going to do it down here in the turn 3 and 4. He got right up to the back bumper. He's going to go low. 21 tries to block it off a little bit, and that 21's riding the outside wall, and it's not going to be enough. I think the 58's got to pull back inside and hang on to it for now. Will the 58 gain a run? It looks like he is right here. This is not a bad spot to try it. Into the corner. Nope. He's just going to ride right on that back bumper and wait for the mistake to happen.
I think if you can build yourself a run on exit, that might be your only chance running extended side by side here. A very, very bad idea, but with a little bit of aggressive banking, you might be able to hang it up against the wall. It's why drivers have so much pace against that wall and sometimes love to leave their paint over on it. You sometimes just wish iRacing would have a tiny detail like that. As frustrating as that would be to develop, I'd love to see her paint build up on that wall. Conklin is getting close and he's looking quite hungry and impatient for it. Now he gets the run. It's not enough. He has to back into line. Try it again, but it's happening sooner rather than later around here. Let me tell you that.
No doubt about it. We're getting these paint files sent over as it looks like right here. Take a look at this. Sean Conklin to the inside. A Patrick Gitter for the lead. It looks like he got there that time, and he will make that pass clear and easy. And now 58's got control of the lead, but Patrick Gitter's trying to stay right on the back bumper to keep working as well. Still pretty dang clear pass. Pretty well done for Conklin. Now it's just a matter of maintaining the lead. Everybody else trying to maintain position as well. But I think Gitters might be going the wrong direction early. Again, you're going to see these little battle pockets pop up throughout the field where if the leader of this long line is slightly slower, you start to get a buildup, and that develops these passing opportunities. Like right here, Raymond Root going to the inside, trying to make a pass there on the 91. He gets up into the wall. Paul Hill joins him. He's able to get on by, continue the drive towards the front.
Last week's winner struggling on this circuit, struggling to make up distance, but plenty of time, and you can end up from anywhere to anywhere here, just on good strategy calls alone, especially if the cautions fall your way. Top 6, big spread out between. We see multiple cars within a second away from each other. It's the middle of this field around the 20s where the action is interesting right now, and drivers are looking for passes. This is Thomas Kormateski on the back of Jeremy B. Brown. Moving all the way down the track.
Jeremy just lets him have it. Yeah, just go ahead, man. Just go on by. That's going to be the way it's going to work. It's a lot of give and take early on. You're going to give a lot more than you take early, unless you got yourself something pretty good under that hot rod, in which case or most of the time you're just trying to fill out the car, figure out what you can do to fix it on the next pit stop. And right now, one of my favorite things about this early on is I'm looking here at this top 10, and it's some of the best drivers we've seen in this series, period. You know, you're looking at it, and it's just a lot of guys that know what they're doing. And so I think over the course of the run, it'd be interesting to see where they end up. Yesterday, we had a huge crash on the front straightaway in the Friday Night Lights series that took out a lot of the main contenders, and it opened the door for some folks that normally would not be in the top 10 to end up going to the front. And eventually, at the end of the day, someone who we expected to see do well, Lucas Heusman, came out with the win there. But you can see right there, Blake Kluot in that 14 car. You were looking at him for a few laps now. Side by side, here comes Duggar to the inside of Matthew David Wood. And that 16 car's paint will be coming in soon, I promise. We'll make sure that it's there. It has to be. 15 car. Oh, he cuts off the 15. He doesn't let Robert Miller in. There goes Duggar. Alan Duggar trying to cut off the 15's front nose.
Obviously, one of the big talking points in the league over the last week, we touched it earlier, was the full season suspension after conduct at Vegas. You'd know better than me, though, Kirk. How does that affect the championship hopes for his team, drivers around him? How much of a... I mean, I know he was generally a strong competitor, but I think we've taken out one of the faster drivers on the field from the entire season. I have the feeling that a lot of people thought that was probably deserved, but you are going to have more thoughts than I do as a typical announcer in the booth.
Say that last part one more time. I want to make sure I heard that right. What'd you say?
I get the feeling quite a few people think that a suspension was deserved, but you're the sort of you're the outspoken commentator.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Gossett.
Talk it through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. For some reason in my head I heard suspension. I'm like, wait, whose car broke? Yeah, no, okay, you're talking about, of course, the situation with Gossett. We called it live. It looked very unorthodox, of course, and it's not good for that 8-team course. He's one of the most aggressive drivers I've seen, and but he always brings entertainment in my view. It's always entertaining to watch, but it looks like that the folks in charge of the league, of course, they have rules against, doing anything as a lap car, blocking anybody, or doing any sort of manipulation of the race to improve a teammate or help a friend or anything like that. They want to go 100% all the time. So what I can say is that, it's unfortunate for them, but their team will still continue racing, no doubt about it. You got Ryko cars still all over the place, even including one still leading the dang race, Sean Conklin, still running away with this thing, gaining a lead now up to 1.2 seconds long. So that lead is definitely just getting bigger and bigger, and I think the car to beat's going to be that 58 over the course of the run.
One driver that's going to be happy with that call, of course, Adam Benefield was very outspoken in that interview. But he's always an outspoken one. He always has something to say when he makes it the top 3 in the interview. Hoping that he doesn't have that incident repeated for him this time around, but I'm sure he's one that saw that and probably had a stronger reaction than most to that suspension. But the league rolls on anyway, and there's still plenty of drivers ready to take this championship, so life does go on.
All right, so the big thing I'm worried about now is tires, of course. If we're looking at the way that this is going to turn out, I'm trying to keep in mind the actual lap times. When they came out here in practice, they were running 29.3s, 29.4s, 29.1s at the fastest. Right now, they're running 30.5s. Remember, this is a new package. We're running 750 horsepower, low downforce. This thing, it drives completely different than it did last year, and it's a new style. You're going to start seeing tires be a big deal. If you don't have a car that's set up to handle tire wear, it will be going the wrong way. That is how that works, and it's going to continue to do that. So you just got to keep that in mind as we continue going on. We got the paint files finally sent over, so we're going to make sure the paints are going to get a quick refresh. You might see the cars go white here for a little bit, but we're on board with Conklin as he's leading this thing. Clear. Oh, he hit the wall on the exit of turn 2. Not something you want to do, but definitely the tire is probably starting to show their wear more and more. But he's still advancing his lead even more, almost up to 2 seconds now.
Robert Miller battling out with Alan Duggar on the track. More cars coming into focus, and that means, I believe, that's Matthew David Wood's car. We can talk about this one now that we can finally see it. Give us a talk through some of the ones we may have missed.
Yeah, the 16 car, Matthew David Wood, by far one of my favorite paints of the weekend. He threw it back to the 16 car at Daytona when he won his duel, that 16 car. He won that, but he hasn't won since, but he's still doing really well for a rookie. He's brand new to the series. I have a kind of keen liking for the kid. He's doing just fine, and he's got Robert Miller right now on the back bumper trying to make a move on him. Remember, Robert Miller won last week. That 15 car is a winner, no doubt about it. So he's racing against good folks, drivers that will teach him as he goes, and of course he'll make mistakes, he'll move on. He just hit the wall a little bit there, but no matter what, still all about learning. As he lets the 15 car Robert Miller go, he goes in a little higher, and now Duggar's trying to pass him for getting into 11th spot. He drops out of the top 10 with that. But a driver I want to get a camera on if we can, Jun Salim in the 67, if we can't show that 67 for a quick moment. The 67 is right now currently running
paint, but there he is.
Yeah, the reason why I wanted to bring him up was because of his career. He's not someone that's raced here with us very much. I mean, he made his first career start just a handful of races ago, and now he's been running top 10 speed all along. I think he's going to be someone to go for a championship, no doubt about it. Of course, these throwback paints we're going to get to as we continue throughout the race. But again, that 67, he's just got a long ways to go to get towards the championship, but I think he's got the talent to do it. He's shown that he's fast, and he's the only South Korean in this field. So pretty dang cool to see. Happy to have an international group of drivers here coming to join us. Just behind him, if we can, Jonathan Delaney in the 6 car. Take a look, throwing it back to Mark Martin. He's run this paint before in throwback weekends in the past, but that 6 car, if there's anybody you want to be compared to, Mark Martin's not a bad name to be compared to, but this guy's, I'll be honest, pretty dang cool at making these paint schemes. I like how it's in the middle of the door instead of up towards the front. That's how the car should be, in my opinion, but of course everybody has their own style. Love that paint scheme from the 6. And if we could go a little further forward in the field, another driver I want to bring up, 12 car Nolan Hodgson, if we can. Here we go, Nolan. Take a look at this. I'm not sure if it's a Newman paint or if it's a going back even further to a Mayfield paint. I'm trying to triple check through the paint schemes on the actual Discord where they uploaded pictures of it and described it. But what I can say is I like the way it looks. It reminds me of the old days, and I kind of miss it a lot. He's trying to chase down Lucas Hoytsma, currently sitting P3, riding that Greg Biffle paint scheme throwback. Pretty dang fun stuff, to say the least.
Used for the infield care centre. The damage was unrepairable for Hunter Truex on the first lap through no fault of his own. That is a frustrating way to go. Now, I do know which drivers we didn't see the paints of the first time, so we'll see how they should look on the track. Here is Neil Pearson in the 62.
Neil Pearson in the 62. Yeah, we've been wanting to show this for a minute. This is an old Casey Kane looking paint scheme or Bill Elliott looking paint, depending on who you're talking to, because they both kind of run that cool formatted style. And, you know, I think Kane was the one that brought it in to, like, big popularity, but it was initially driven by the 9 car with Bill Elliott towards the end of his career. But Kane really took it over and was the image of that. He decided to throw back, and I love the way it looks. Of course, this is something that these paint scheme folks don't get a chance to show off that often. We don't normally talk about them that much. Unless it really stands out, like the car right in front of him in the 73 of Mesnard, I believe that's who that is. Throwing it back to the old Oreo car. I love the Oreo car. A few folks drive it. I mean, I saw a few drive it like Tony Stewart drove it once. Dale Jr. drives its own version of it. A lot of main cup guys. Oreo's just one of the ones I like keeping inside of my house. I have a little die-cast car or something similar that Junior drove back in the early 2000s. Looks very similar to that. Pretty dang looking car. Pretty dang good looking car, I should say. But yeah, these guys are running not really necessarily up towards the front in any shape or form. The 37, if I'm right, is actually currently in 36. So this is like at the tail end of the field. But they're moving their way forward, no doubt about it.
It's the final car that did not load. It's Cody Porter in the 04. This is one thing that you're more knowledgeable than me at. So any shout-outs on this one? Or was this just a daily paint that didn't even download?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm looking here at the paint schemes announcements here for that one. And I'm having a hard time actually seeing where that one may have came in. I'm not seeing any pictures for it. So I don't think he's throwing it back to really anything that I can tell. It looks like a normal paint scheme to me for Cody Porter, I believe. Now, there is one that I do like looking at, the number 40 car, who's at the tail end of the field. Legit tail end, but I want to bring it up. This is the only way we could bring up cars that normally aren't at the front of the field. The 40 car. is Jose Medina, running 42nd right now, and they're running that old sit-go car for the 40, and I love the old look to it. It's not something you get to see on a racetrack that often, and it used to be a staple of the series. You'd see that type of paint scheme in NASCAR quite often, but now it's not as common. And so when we go back to the throwbacks, I love it. He's about to get lapped, actually, by the leader, Sean Conklin, right behind him. Right there, he gets it down and out of the way. Sean Conklin again, he's driving that old Jeff Gordon 2006, 2007 fire paint scheme. He got away from the Rainbow Warrior and tried to go flame. But, you know, that's how it worked there. He's now lapping cars the longer we go, and he's actually extended his lead by 4 seconds over Patrick Gitter. This is a huge lead. Sean Conklin's got this thing in the bag, and he's running so well, he just lapped Nicholas Vroman, who was involved in that incident on lap 1 in the 95. So Vroman's going to have a long way to go to come back from this. But again, I mean, what a phenomenal run so far from Conklin, dominant. I mean, it's going to be a wake-up call for the whole field to see Conklin this far out in front. And maybe that's a little throwing some shade, because he's dominating the field as we get our first pit stop here for the 60 car. And that is Jedi Taylor. Jedi Taylor is running that old Carl Edwards paint scheme. Some of you might remember whenever he came out of pit road at Michigan and tried to hit Dale Jr.'s door off. Whenever I think he drove a paint similar to this when that may have happened. He's going to go ahead and go back out on the racetrack. But yeah, Jedi Taylor, first car I've seen on pit road so far outside of the first incident.
Bad news for Jason. He was black flagged on the pit entry. Let's see if we can catch that. That's almost certainly... this is the moment of the flag, so it wouldn't have been speeding in. It was probably speeding out. Oh, yes, yeah. He does go very, very fast on exit and has to pull that back down. That's a black flag. He's going to have to go back in the pit lane. His race is as good as over just like that, unless he gets very lucky with cautions. 2 stages on the books as well. We're halfway through the first stage. Stages at 90 is our first one of the race. So still got plenty of time to stretch our legs on the track. Race has been pretty relaxed, but our leaders have checked out. Darlington's a track that lets you do that, though, as a leader. If you love this track, you make it your favorite. If you set up your car just right, you'll disappear, and absolutely nobody can stop you.
No, but this is actually a very, very dominant performance. You don't see that in the full-length Cup Challenge very often. You don't get to see a car get this far out in front this early. We got Duggar coming down. He was in the top 10. Bobby Anderson joining him now. We got more cars coming down pit road. So the pit cycle has opened. It's halfway between the start of this race and the course, the stage at lap 90, which is why these guys are coming down. Hoytsma from 3rd place heads down pit road now. You're going to see more and more cars choose to come down, and they got to make a big swing on adjustments if they want to compete with Conklin today. Conklin's just got a hot rod that's so much faster. 2nd place is running lap times 0.2 slower a lap than the leader, which is a big problem if you're the rest of the field.
Did lengths on the tower, you'll be able to tell who may be out of position as more and more drivers stop. It's starting to see some of our top drivers go. We already saw Hoytsma. There's Nolan Hodgson. So it's not just a niche strategy. People are trying to split this stage in half across the board. Hope they don't catch any other penalties on it as well on the entry. It's got to be quite a tricky entry to get the car slowed down in time for it at Darlington, but everybody's made that one work so far. Jonathan Delaney, one of our closer battlers in the top 5, on the back of Adam Benefield, who's now up to P3 as a result of the pit cycles. Still waiting for his chance to get on by, though. It certainly isn't easy, and it certainly doesn't come to you for free.
You know, nothing comes free. Freedom isn't free. You got to remember that, too. I got to say here, man, that lead is stretched out now to 7 seconds. We had more cars coming down. Patrick Gitter's now on pit road from 2nd place. So we're going to see these fast cars get back on the racetrack with cars on old tires. This is where it could get dangerous. Saw right there, 6-car Delaney gets by the 83 of Benefield for 2nd place. As the leader, Sean Conklin's on pit road.
That pass gives Delaney a lap lead just in time. Use the limb also in 3rd. It's pretty close to this 3-car chase. Murray's very far off the back, but Use the limb has managed to get himself quite close to this battle, and obviously you can gain and lose a lot of time in pit lane, and that could really, really ultimately affect the long-run prospects for a lot of these drivers. Alex Coffey, Sean Anderson side by side down the straight. It's Coffey up on the top as Paul Hill, it drops like a rock. He's heading into pit road himself. More and more drivers taking the bite now. It's going to reach a point where it's almost half the field very, very soon. Not seen any catastrophes on pit road, though.
Yep, absolutely right.
Oh,
that's just a matter of
I
time.
jinxed it. It's Robert Miller.
Oh,
Just black flagged.
What happened to Miller?
On the way out. We'll keep an eye. We'll look at his onboard and see what happened to Miller. But that's another one. It's the same. Oh, that's a little bout
It's
of
so
speeding.
sensitive.
That is a lot more subtle. But iRacing,
yeah, it's
that was bad
unfortunate.
enough.
They tend to do that, and I don't understand as to why. And it's one of those things that just doesn't make sense to me. Of course, the longer we go, the more we'll see. But a lot of cars that are still out there on old tires, like Matt DeCiani in the 4 car, is just getting swarmed by these faster guys. The 13 car, Sean Anderson's one of them right now. The 13, if we could show a camera on him, the 13. He's going to get passed by these fast guys like they're sitting still if we can. 13 car.
Well, there's a lot going on. It makes software chug the whole way around. There we go.
There we go. So yeah, this is old tires versus new tires. You see Zodiac on new tires on the bottom. And same thing with right there, the 97, that's Hoytsma, just flying by these guys. This is how it's going to be. Nolan's going in, diving in deep, and trying to make the pass. 13's just trying to hang on for dear life. He's now the leader, actually, now that we had everybody else come down pit road.
Imagine not being confident in your Darlington and then getting to lead a lap at Darlington. Probably no feeling like it. This is one of the few NASCAR tracks I avoid because I know I'm not ready for it. I have always struggled, and I'm sure a bit of practice would get it down for me, but it isn't sharp quite often enough. Obviously 2 races this year, though, rather than just the one. So we have the 500-miler later on in the season. You don't get to escape the lady in black that quickly. Out of all of our drivers...
leaders in the wall, 58, Conklin, the guy who was going to end up taking the eventual lead, just rode the wall in turns 1 and 2 pretty dang hard. First time I seen him get up into the wall seriously in the last handful of laps. Was not very good. Take a look at it going into turn number 1. 58 car, leader. Will eventually be the leader once it all cycles through. Just dove it in and right up against the wall. Rode that thing for a while and bounced right back off of it and just kept her going straight. As Medina's in a wall as well, he's all around. A lot of cars are getting that Darlington stripe early.
First chance of many. These cars are a little bit more durable than yesterday's, though, so they can take the occasional shot, Conklin. So putting some gaps between him, though, and cars that haven't stopped already. This is the tyre difference, able to pass both Roman and Medina on the old tyres, and he could end up claiming more, but we are running out of drivers that haven't stopped at all. It's just Dyson, Mullins, Mesnard, Brown, Johnson and Anderson. How many do you think he can actually take in this time? As Dyson is very close to Mullins up ahead down the road. Both could stop at any time, but the exit speed on fresh tyres is unbelievable. Sean Conklin is lapping these drivers who are then going to be putting themselves down when they eventually green stop.
You'll see the giant gap whenever it comes through. This is a huge gap between first and second, but not just that. Note for Matthew David Wood fans, unfortunately, he has lost connection to the race and his upload packet did not work well, so he is out right now. Hopefully we'll see him return and try and finish it out for that 16 car, but hate to see it. Definitely the equivalent of a blown motor when you have internet connection issues.
It looks to me as if Jason S. Taylor has also retired. Might have just been out of getting the excessive penalty and thinking, can't get myself back in this race. So that might have just been why he has dropped out of this lobby, leaving 3 out. 1 to damage, 1 to internet, and 1 to penalty. It's getting very, very close on the track. Here's around P22 Matt DeCiani racing out with Cody Moore and Devin Medeiros. Jeremy B. Brown up ahead is currently your leader, but Sean Conklin's closing in on him and might get him even before he makes his stop, which is going to make him such a class of the field. He is about 7 ahead of Patrick Gidder, so who is the next will be second place after the stop. So that's how incredible the gap has been. If you could put cars between you and the others on the outlaps, that's an even better fate. I think Cody B. Johnson just got back black flagged, by the way.
A lot of cars are just passing the 07 like crazy. We just saw a whole train go on by them. So, of course, if a caution were to come out, Jeremy B. Brown would be lucky beyond all heck. He needs one. He's got to stay out as long as humanly possible and hope for a caution. Dyson's in the same position. Vroman's in the same spot. Medina's in the same spot. If they stay out, they got to keep staying out. You can't come down pit road until you're absolutely out of gas at this point. You're going to hope for a... you're going to have to hope for a... I guess you're going to have to hope for a caution to be able to stay in this race. 21 car... I'll see if I can't fix that. That paint scheme was broken there. I'll see if I can't fix that particular problem. But in the meantime, again, it's just glitching out trading paints today. Not entirely sure. It's very unorthodox.
That was one we got working earlier, and then we've lost in the process. I know. I did turn off.
How did that happen?
So what happened? Well, I deleted every paint, turned trading paints off, ran only your ones. Maybe that one just missed the upload. And that's my only guess.
Well, I'll do some digging. I'll find it out. Hang on.
The wonders of a special paint week are verifying everything works, doing everything differently, and still having it not quite go right. Really getting busy out here around P5 on the field. Nicholas Vroman's been holding out for as long as humanly possible alongside Jeremy B. Brown. Pace be damned on these two cars. They're stretching these tyres out all the way to a possible caution, and now you can see on Vroman, every single car that wants a place is taking a place one after another in the turns. Might as well not contest them, but it's not going to come out in a great position after those stops. It's a gamble worth taking. You can have a field-wrecking instance at any point here at Darlington. And we're still around just under 30 laps to go in the stage. Still plenty of time for something to happen. Andrew Dyson in the 41 is another driver trying the same strategy. You can just see how the car lumbers through the mid-turn in comparison to those on the fresh tyres who are carrying momentum. Even fast drivers like Andrew Dyson, you almost feel like they're running in a different league, how slow those cars just enter and exit. He's in the wall as well. Nolan Hodgson's going to be all over that rear bumper.
You can see right there.
That's Graves.
It's just easy. Yeah, a lot of damage to the front bumper of Dyson though. Something's going. I think it was from that first initial crash early on in the race. Same thing with. That's why these guys are staying out. Vroman and Dyson. They're just trying to milk it around. Hope they can stay on the lead lap. It's the best thing you can do right now. But the leader, look at this gap. He has gained 8 seconds over the first car on the same strategy as him. Getter there is the car that has already came down pit road. It's 9 seconds now. Man, that car is just on rails. And he's in lap traffic.
This is that very awkward stage of the race where some of these cars are so stubborn. They're refusing to stop for anything. And they're just acting as roadblocks on the circuit. You've got to navigate. They're on your lap. You have to race them. They can do whatever they want to slow you down on the same lap, but it does just mean you have to really battle and wrestle your way around. These are cars a lap down, some of them though, heading around the 41 now. Still no cautions other than that very first lap 1 caution in the race that caught out Hunter Truell. Very unlucky, commiserations, wishing him best of luck for next week after an incident like that on the track. But otherwise, they've kept it very clean and green. And other than that race start, it's been really easy for most of these drivers to make it around in one piece. I've not seen any unusual aero spinning or sort of strange things that the next gen someone does. You're right about Dyson's front nose. I know you're often right, but that thing has been absolutely smashed.
Oh my gosh, going into turn 3, we got a slow car. Cliff Mullins almost caused a big crash there. He's way off the pace in the 44 car. If we can get a camera on him real quick just to see what's going on. See, he is just way off the pace. Is he come down pit road already? It was going into turn 3. Look at this. It was so sketchy. Oh my! Right there's the leader. It's just that much slower.
He has stopped.
Do we have a
I'm not
speed?
sure. Something has happened to make that car off the pace. He's 2 laps down, and he has stopped 9 laps ago. So he is certainly not running at a safe pace on the track. Despite that, I'm not sure what could have caused that one. Time marches on.
I'm still just stunned. He's now at 10 seconds between Conklin and Gitter. 10 seconds. This is a dominating first stage. I have never seen this much domination out of the first stage of a race. I mean, I am more in awe of that than anything. 10 seconds between Gitter and Conklin, and they pitted on the same lap. Same tires. I don't understand how. I mean, you got to give Conklin and Raiko Performance a lot of credit here that they've done something that no one else has been able to do this week. It seems like they got something in the car that's able to push them further and better than everybody else by almost a whole 10 seconds.
What is powering that car other than hopes and dreams and, ironically, maybe the lost soul of Tommy Gossett? I wonder if there's some vengeance in that drive. Leading out for that Raiko team with such an unstoppable gap, and it will take an unlucky freak incident to take that driver off the top pass. I don't think in the course of racing anyone is going to catch.
Yeah, I don't know. They are going to need to take a huge swing on a car, or Conklin's going to need to make a mistake to really change the outcome of this one. Gosh, we got to get to lap 90 for stage 1. This is just early in the race. Remember, folks, things could happen. You never know, but I can say this. Conklin's got an easy drive ahead of him if he's able to continue.
We've got to be here for 400 miles of such domination, but such is life sometimes in NASCAR. Sometimes you get those close races that are down to the wire, and sometimes somebody proves that they can do things that nobody else can and absolutely dominate the field with absolutely no question about it. Sort of makes those impressive drives more impressive, though, the fact that this is the first one that feels like it's been this dominant throughout the whole season in either league. 29 in the wall, walking up the 6 and the 83 here. He's a lap down, but he's struggling on pace. This is Nolan Hodgson's able to make a pass for P3 against Jeremy B. Brown, who's very slow in the corner. 13's going to get a lap back on him as well. 73 lap stint. Jeremy B. Brown's held out so well for someone that has not made his stop. It's not dropped like Roman. We saw Roman dropping. He's a lap down on pure pace alone. Jeremy B. Brown has stayed in that top 3 all the way up to lap 74. And I don't think you can make the end of the stage. I do think you have to stop during the stage. 90 laps is unlikely for this fuel tank, and now he's starting to lose pace and hit the wall every time. But if you're going to make that gamble, he is the one to pull it off. I wonder if he'll consider doing it again.
If he could stay on the lead lap, that's going to be his #1 priority here, because already we have 17 cars that are on the lead lap, and that's not going to be there for long, because Conklin, he is catching up to the back end of this field, and DeCiani is currently running 17th, the last car on the lead lap. This is just... so many cars have missed the mark this week, is the best thing I could say here. I wish I could say otherwise. I mean, the top 10 is 10th place is 20 seconds behind Conklin. 20. That is so unusual for this series. You don't normally see that huge gap happen at all. Normally, you wouldn't see that in this at all, just because the amount of talent we got in this series. We got people from Team Conti Sim Performance. You got EPI in here. A bunch of high competitive racing teams that work all week to build sets, and they move straight to the front. And I didn't mention a few, but there's a whole bunch more that have the talent to do it. But this week, it's just like nobody's able to stick with Conklin.
I mean, another Raiko driver in our top 3, Nolan Hodgson. has been running very, very fast as well, likely running similar setup across the team. So that gap, that 14-second gap, speaks to the difference in pace. If you take away the setup difference between the two drivers, I think Sean Conklin just has an affinity for this track today, has done nothing but practice it, wants to make a statement. Well, some of our drivers that haven't stopped are starting to come into the pit lane now. The end of their run has well and truly hit. They tried very, very, very hard to hold on for a caution, and I actually think Paul Hill could have done it if the chips fell his way. I reckon he's a driver that might try again, because he'll have the measure of the field. Actually, that's an interesting question. He'll have the measure of the field when the stage comes around. In just under 10 laps, it's on lap 90 we get the stage. So he'll have that, but a 10-lap tyre gap is going to add up very, very quickly at Darlington. Do you think he has to stop again to not get gapped by the field?
We have a problem live on pit road. Lap 76 for the 95 in the 40 car. Two cars got into each other on pit road entry just a little bit ago. If we could zoom back maybe 30 seconds or so. Let's see if we can't get this, because this did not look pretty. Take a look.
A bit
earlier, a little
here.
earlier.
That was back 40.
Yeah, a little earlier.
That was back.
Yeah, even
15.
further. Yep, way more.
Oh my
way
goodness.
more.
He was in for a long time.
There he is, right here. Take a look at this. Take a look right here.
A little bit of a messy pit entry. But I was
they actually got into each other a little bit from a different
someone
angle.
to get cleared in from the top rope, though. That's because Roman on the inside. Ooh.
That's unorthodox, to say the least.
Roman, though, made his entry very late. He's sort of a lot higher. I think he's. I think
that's a normal pit road entry.
Made the more standard. The 40's the one that's wrong.
The 40 dove it in way too deep. Normally, you do what the 95 did. You wait until that line shows up, then you pull in. But 40 came down way earlier than that. It's just a safer entry, but it was fine. Not too bad. Up front still, lap 82. We got a ways to go. And, man, on the lead lap, it has now cycled to 12 cars on the lead lap. 12 cars. We're almost to the top 10. Let's see if we can get to Sean Conklin real quick for the lead real quick up front in the 58. Look up the road from the 58 if we can get a view to where we can see down the front straightaway. You're going to see a set of two cars right there. Yep, you can see them right ahead. That's 11th place up there. That, again, 11th place is Duggar and Avila. Avila in the 63 is running that old Dale Earnhardt senior paint scheme. And I got to tell you right now that he is catching him. And he's probably going to get there before the end of the stage. And that would lap all the way to 12th and have the top 11 be the only cars on the lead lap. As he gets loose off turn 2 and the car comes out of the pit road, that's Jeremy B. Brown. He's now 2 laps down from that. So with fresh tires, the 07 will probably get one of his laps back, which will be good for him. And probably he needs to do that. Absolutely. The 07, if he wants to have a chance, he has to pass the leader here, get his 1 lap back, then take the wave around on the start of the second one, and then he'll be able to be back on the lead lap.
I like the asking in the chat from Kelly Coffey. How did some Mini end up a lap or 2 down? Did something happen? Was there some incident? Was there some catastrophe? No, it is raw pace at Darlington. It is just simply being that fast on the track here today. This is going to put the restarts in a very awkward situation because one driver's going to get a lucky dog. And so many others. I might have to eventually set that gap on the tower to gap to the next car. If enough cars get that where we can't see the gaps, we're going to have to take emergency measures. How far ahead do you think Sean Conklin can finish ahead of the field? Well, he won't be able to lap the whole field because he will get a reset twice in this race. We're very, very close to the end of the first stage, but he'd love to try.
Yep. And good news for you Jeremy B. Brown fans in the 07. He just got by the leader. And what that does is when he crosses the line, I think I'm thinking it puts him back on 1 lap down. It might be 2. Actually, I'm pretty certain it's only 2. So he'll be taking the wave around to be just 1 lap down, not just Oh, man. So that just makes it a lot more difficult for the '07. But Conklin, yeah, he's just been dominant. No, not a single other driver on this field has been anywhere near him. But look at this battle right here. You got Delaney here trying to make a move for third on Hodgson. He's going to the top side trying to make the outside line work. Not going to work this time down the straight. I'm sure he's going to try and set him up, though.
Reposition matters for points there. Jonathan Delaney trying to make that P3 on the road. There are still some close battles on the track despite our leader domination on the road. There's also Timothy Harper and Thomas Komarcheski having a close battle for 18th and 19th. But this is going to be the sort of track that's such a driver skill differentiator. And to spin up the road, Oh, there's that.
Oh my goodness! Crash off of turn number 4. 3-car incident. The 13 of Sean Anderson. The 08 also around. And golly, man, we just got ourselves another one. The 08 of Cody B. Johnson got loose in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Overcorrected into the outside wall. Came down oncoming traffic. And the 12 of Nolan Hodgson was just an innocent bystander on the lead lap, running in the top 5. And he pile drove into the 13 car, and that will take him out. Take a look at this. Here's on board with Sean Anderson. He sees the car getting loose up ahead. They're still in the throttle, and bang.
Is holding
obviously
his brakes.
Sean.
That's so unlucky.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if we take a look at the 12, if we can take a look at Nolan, that will be the stage, by the way. We got Conklin winning the stage. It will be Conklin, Gitter, Delaney, Hoytsma, Benefield, Lim, Hutchinson, Murray, Kluot, and I believe Duggar will be the top 10. But take a look here from Nolan's view. He sees that wreck, chooses to go low, and yep, unfortunate for that 12 car. You can see your finishing order there on your screen. 38 seconds between first and 10th, and 13 from first to second. That is just saying something. A lot of speed out of Conklin as they come down pit road.
Any driver that split this stage in half, obviously going to want to make their stop now. Try and split every stage into half. Interested to see what the drivers that stopped quite late in the stage do. Obviously, we're going to be splitting this field into 2 when it comes to stops because the lap down drivers have to wait another turn. So eventually, everybody's going to be down pit road, but so many have been put down a lap that it's going to be a bit of a staggered process for the field, and we'll work out the positions. And now is the time, by the way, for me to hit this great big button one more time. I've been given the one paint that got away, so we should have an eye. I'm just going to confess to the world, I did everything I could to make sure this worked properly, and then, you know, deleted every paint, held the hygiene in perfectly, and yet you still just find a way to get spited on the line for an important throwback week. But I'm dedicated to make sure you can all see your paints out now on the track. Sean Conklin currently leading off pit road. I think the rest of the drivers are going to be making their stop now quite soon. We'll work out the stints. Look how many cars comes out behind. It's the whole rest of the field.
Yep, absolutely right. But I want to see if we can't actually talk to Sean Conklin. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually bring him in here to chat with us. Sean Conklin, Kirk Mills in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Man, dude, you are dominating this dang race. You're 13 seconds over second. You just showing everybody up this week. You must really like Darlington.
I love this place. Every time we come here, we run really, really good, and it just fits the way that I like to drive racetracks. It fits my my throttle curve kind of style. It's just really great racetrack for us overall.
All right, man. I know you're about to go back underway, but I got to ask you, what's your plan for the rest of the race?
Hopefully keep pulling away, just keep doing what we've been doing, and just trying to drive off into the sunset that we're going to get here in an hour or 2.
All right, man. Well, we'll see when we talk to you probably at the end of the race if you keep this up.
Thank you.
If you got it. Thanks for talking with us. Sean Conklin obviously sounds like he's on a Sunday drive. He doesn't sound worried at all. He sounds like he knows this place inside and out. It fits his style, and nobody's able to play with his stuff this week. Up front, again, Conklin, Gitter, Delaney, Hoytsma, and Lim, top 5 through the restart zone. We're going to get back underway. Watch the wheel spin. A lot better up front. 58 just jumps away.
There's our 21 car. I think we now finally have a final complete collection of every single paint. Get them on your die-cast while you still can. Want to jump at the field, but we're still running too wide, several rows deep out of turn 1 and 2.
The 98, I think it was, just went really, really wide in turns 1 and 2 and just went down and out. Let me triple check to make sure that was right. Yes, it was. He saved the car and kept it going, but got real loose in the back. But right here, battled for second. Delaney and Gitter. Gitter's on the top. Delaney, contact, he spins him out. And now they're sliding into turns 1 and 2. Limbs, they're 4 wide. Look out, contact, this ain't over. Hang on to it, boys.
We've saved it, but this is not the sort of traffic you want to see down the back straight of Darlington. You're not going to fit 3 wide and get good pace, but that's what they're trying. Back down here with Blake Kluwer. 3 on the road. Pinned up to the top there, Alex Murray. Sean Conklin just casually getting the fastest lap. Quite a few drivers did not stop. You see Bobby Anderson, Paul Gallimore, Stephen Williams, Cody Porter, Casey Graves did not stop. So they are going to be little speed bumps in the middle of the circuit. They're going to be running like half the speed through the turns. I guess they're there hoping their ultimate strategy plays out. It almost did work for them, but it hasn't quite yet.
Nope, absolutely not. But Conklin loved that. He's now 4 seconds ahead of the field. And Lim, who's restarted in 5th, found his way through a 4-wide move all the way up to 2nd. So the rookie, 67 of June Salim. Let's take a look and see how that happened again. Remember, Delaney and Gitter, they were side by side for 2nd place when this all went down.
Oh, the 5 into the 21. And that just starts to stack up. The 67 of Yusalim, good avoidance there to stick it forward. Oh, he actually kind of goes back up into the 21 again, and that almost becomes its own total disaster. One more look here from the 21's perspective. We'll then move on to Yusalim, who's now standing P2 on the track. He one to look out for. It's washing up the track for the 6, then the 97 makes it worse. Here comes Yusalim in the 67. That getting back onto that banking, though, is tricky. That was almost a total disaster. Now, I want to see if I can catch what happened to the 98, Stephen Williams. He's quite a bit actually off.
Yeah, it was on the back straightaway.
It
was right there. It wasn't him. It was another car just in front of him. If we go back a little further, it showed up in the image.
It's the 40.
Right here. That was the 40. Jose Medina. That was
Medina.
40.
He was one of those drivers that did stay out under the stop. Whoa. How did he get so
exactly.
low?
That's what I saw.
He got hit by the 5.
Yeah, he got hit, but great save. Way to hang on to it, Jose. Not bad. But yeah, let's see if we can't get a camera back up front. We have a close battle right now with Patrick Gitter and Benefield in the 83 and the 21. You know, that 83 of Benefield this week looks like he's running an old, Brandon Hastings paint scheme who races that type car week in and week out here in this series. However, I don't see Hastings right now in this race. He's probably out doing something else. You know, he's a busy guy working on a truck team. So, but yeah, he's kind of got sandwiched right now in between Gitter and the 97 of Hoytsma. So he's obviously in a good position, though, top 5, and that's where you expect to see Benefield running top 5. And I wish I knew the big story behind the 83's paint this week, but whenever they posted it in the paints chat, that 83 was mentioned. It said homage to a legend for Adam Benefield. So they included a picture from a B-class race at Michigan where a photo finish must have taken place. So I'm guessing there's a story there that was not really described very well. But that's the best thing I could see is we got a few cars just behind this. 3 wide into the corner. Paul Hill sliding it in deep. 3 wide does a slide job on a couple cars. Right here, this is 4th position again. And oh my gosh, just hard racing right here. 23 of I think that's, who is that? Harper. Oh. Yeah, he's a lap down though.
Oh,
and 26.
Hell loose. Oh, he's
loose.
sliding all over the track right now. Getting heat into those tires and needs to lock this down. I think hopefully his next turn is just that little bit safer. Patrick Gitter saying he has damage from an earlier round.
Yeah, and good news, folks. that throwback for the 83 that I was talking about a minute ago, apparently, when Hastings won the preseason race at Michigan. That's what Adam was talking about. Hastings went, that's what he's throwing it back to earlier this year during a preseason entry race. Bryson Higginbotham brought it up, so that's kind of funny. I like that, Bryson. Thanks for that one. And not bad from Benefiel and Johan Seminario working on that together in tandem. Not bad.
Stage 2 ends on lap 185. So, about as long as the first, I think, minus a couple laps in my... no, it's +5 because you lose a couple to the caution. Makes sense to me. Going to be around the same length, going to be around the same strategies on the track before we have one long stage to finish the race. It's Gidder and Murray. Gidder running it low, Murray running it high. That wall always the advantageous line here if you can pull it off the whole way around the track. That's a good exit down the turn, and I think that'll be a clean, easy pass.
You know, if we could, can we get TV3 on Conklin for a second? I just want to show you something that is kind of wild here coming through this corner. Look at this gap whenever it comes back to the grandstands. Let's see, right here. There is no one in view. They are he's on his own. He's in a practice session.
This is the crowd cam TV phrase. This is what you'd actually see from the grandstands. I've never, you've asked for a lot of things. I've never seen you actually ask for a specific numbered cam. But you know what? We evolve. We keep learning new things week after week. But I mean, that's going to double. Over the course of the stage, that's going to double. And at that point, I think we should look again when it's 10 seconds and just see like where's the next car. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Yeah. Golly, it just shows so much talent in the 58 car and the driver and the car. Because the thing is, if it was just the setup, you'd see a couple other guys up there with him, no doubt about it. But right now, it's just him. So I think it's a mixture of the setup, his driving style, and he said it himself. He loves this place. He's just able to drive away. I'm guessing he's listening to some sort of, wonderful music in that car, drinking a macchiato, leading this thing 1.5 miles ahead of everybody else. I don't know. But, man, that's so cool. The closest battle you're looking at right now, oh, man, we're on board with the leader again, looking at the back bumper. You can't see nothing. I still don't see anybody.
There he is.
There they are.
Very
way. It's a whole straightaway. Yeah, it's a whole straightaway.
They leave me with the fun ones, you know. They leave me to commentate the ones full of battles for the lead.
Oh, come on now. This is a different type of race. Normally you get to see a driver, beating and banging for the lead, trying to battle for a win. But then you get those rare races, and these are like remind me of what it felt like to watch racing back in like 2009, 2008, 2007, all the way to 06, where you can go to a track like this, and one guy who the whole team worked together on a setup. They're just 10 times better than everybody else, able to stretch out the lead to 16 plus seconds. And I mean, that type of race is different than this. It's not the same thing. Right here, though, look at Hoytsma. He's caught up to the back bumper of Lim, and this is battle for second, which is 7 seconds behind Conklin. But be like Biff in the 97 right there, trying to catch up to the 67. If you adjust the numbers on both cars, you can replicate each other's numbers that way, kind of. Flip one number upside down, there you go.
I mean, like I appreciate the use of limbs, keeping it simple. You don't have to bring out a paint. The only comment is that any time I see the default Arial font with the default colors and the black and the gray and the white, that just sort of makes me like, ugh. It sort of makes my the hairs on the back of my neck stand. Like when someone uses a default number. Do anything you want with the number and then leave the rest of that one as simple as you please. That's my view at the very least. Although it does sort of stand out, It's sort of like, it's the one thing that's recognized with the iRacing on the tower. Good corner exit for Lucas Hoytsma. That's going to be clear and easy.
Yep, absolutely easy pass. No problem at all for Hoytsma. He won yesterday in the Friday Night Lights series. But remember, Conklin wasn't in that race. So Hoytsma rising to the top was kind of expected, but seeing Conklin up front, if you know him, there's no doubt, right? No doubt. you're looking right here, side-by-side battle with Harper and the 26 of Paul Hill. These guys, I think, aren't they like a lap down or something?
So we're actually looking at
understand.
two battles, because right up ahead is Delaney and Kluwer. They're battling for position, and you were looking at the one behind, Hill and Harper. They are a lap down, but they're also battling even closer, in fact. Harper in the wall.
Yeah, they're trying to get the lucky dog, but that's not going to matter much longer because right now the leader just passed Casey Graves, who was running in 17th, and now he's a lap down. Next up, Stephen Williams, the leader, just got past him. Now the top 15 are on the lead lap. But guess what? He's catching up to Bobby Anderson. These guys who took the wave around on old tires, the leader's there, passing one at a time. And now everybody who's from Cody Porter on back most likely is going to get lapped again as the 5-car Bobby Anderson tries to make its way down into pit road. So, I mean, now you got passed. I mean, best thing you can do is get tires on the car and hope that you can make up some of that time, stay out long, and stay for the stage.
It's serious.
I mean, you got to take a strategy move.
There is hindsight speaking here on the track, of course. I think if you went into this race and thought, I'm going to do that late stop strategy, that was a smart idea at the time. But now, in hindsight, you're going to get absolutely destroyed by the leaders and the likes of Conklin if you do it. And now drivers like that 5, they're stuck on the strategy. They can't really get out of the rut without burning another set of tyres. Maybe they can stop again on the next caution on the stage, but you don't know what's going to happen between now and the end. And you're setting yourself back again. So I feel for these drivers that are like 60 laps into a stint where that strategy almost worked for a couple in the first stage. They're going to be coming down the pit like Paul Gallimor's just called it. Now it's just a disaster, though. Now it's really, like, if you are on that alternate strategy, it's only going to get worse and worse for you because Sean Conklin is inevitable.
You know, I've been broadcasting the full-length Cup Challenge as a commentator since last year at Daytona in 2025. And from what I've seen, I have not seen this dominant of a performance at all during the last year and a half. And, you know, I've seen cars pull away and, you know, for 4 or 5 seconds, or like, you know, pit strategy puts them ahead and then they're constantly getting chased out from behind. But to just drive away from everybody else, I mean, I saw it in the Friday Night Lights series. Bryson Hixenbaugh does that a lot back last year, but here, no, not in the full-length Cup Challenge. Normally you got guys that are so dang close, but not today. Conklin's just leaps and bounds. And he's continuing the lap cars. You can see he's now got one more to go, which is Cody Porter in the 04 car, and he's going to get there. The Conklin's already within a second of him, and it's not even going to be close.
I mean, you're the full-length Cup Challenge expert. I'm kind of the Friday Night Lights expert, and you've been on the track, but I've been covering that series almost every single week since we came to Maconi Entertainment. And
yeah.
Even Hixenbaugh was not that dominant on his best days. He was very, very strong. He had very, very good races, but like this is a best day, the likes of which you don't get to see often on any oval. There's another lapped car, more and more falling victim here.
You know, I normally save this little audio clip for you know, what do they call it? I guess Adam Benefiel. I normally save it for him when he wins races, but I might use it here.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellent.
That's the truth of the matter right now up front. If he's able to hang on, it's going to be easy. But, of course, you got 8 seconds on back until you get to Hoytsma, who's about 7.5 seconds back, and then another second back to Lim, and Lim's under fire from Benefiel. Take a look at this. The 83's trying to dig.
One of those places that sort of traded back and forth a bit. In fact, Houston Lim made it up to P2, but it's been dropping ever since. The long run pace seems to fall off once the tyres have been worn to about 30 laps in. Obviously, every driver here is expecting another pit stop during this run. Expect to see when the stints hit around 45 to 50. I think every driver will make their stop and will refresh and reload back up to the start. But, I mean, I don't think it will change much in terms of the prognosis right now, Sean. I mean, we can keep the camera on Sean Conklin for the entire race, and I can just sit back if you guys want. But actually, I think I'm definitely paid to bring you as much of the action here as possible. So you just have to imagine he's out there running his race for now, and we'll let you know if anything happens. Until then, still some closer battles on the track. Everybody, though, try to mind their own business.
You know, one of my favorite things to do during moments like this is to go and look at statistics and just go through the field. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use the entirety of the statistics that I have for each of the drivers in the top 10. And we're just going to go through, and I will try and give you the full rundown of their career in this series. Let's start with 10th place if we can. Again, we're on lap 124. Just to remind folks before we do into that, 124. We're trying to get to 185. There are 33 laps into this run. We could expect pit stops somewhere around 50 laps in the stint to around 45, maybe even 60 in the stint, in that range. So for Delaney, who's running in that 10th place spot right now, Delaney's one of those that have been here for a long time. Across all series in the Full Length Cup Challenge, including Friday Night Lights, he's made 61 starts. This is his 62nd start in the last 2 years. This only goes back 2 years. So he's made more starts in other series back beforehand. So keep that in mind. He's probably made even more. And his average start is 11th. Average finish for him is 10th. But right now, guess what? That's where he's running. 10th. Right around where his average finish is. So keep that in mind. He's also been a driver to win multiple times in his career. Looking at it here, I can tell you that his wins, he's won 6 of those races. So he wins more often than not in this series. But today, right around where you expect to see him, 10th place. And he's under fire right now from Johnny Avila, just behind the 5 car, who's a lap car, trying to get some lap positions back. I'm sure he's going to make a pass on him here shortly. But up the road a little bit further, we got Alan Duggar. Let me see if I can't pull up his name as well. Alan Duggar. He has made 4 starts in his career. He's a rookie this year, brand spanking new to us, and his average finish is 23rd, so definitely an improvement. No doubt about it. He is fast. He's running with the Ryko Sim Performance. Ryko. I mixed up the two between Conti and Ryko, but Ryko, he's running with them, and he is running in 9th. Doing really well today, going to improve his average finish, no doubt about it. He's got a lot more races to go before he actually, improves that stat and actually gets something consistent. But for right now, this is his 5th start, doing really well, running in 9th. Then up in front of him, you got the 14 car, Blake Kluot. And this guy, I gotta say, he started in 16 races across the board. His average finish is 13th, definitely doing better than what he was expecting early on into this race. And his average start is 12th, so he's normally right outside the top 10, but doing really well right now, running 8th, definitely an improvement. And I think it's going to be fun to see how well he is able to continue moving forward. He's won 1 race across all the series, just 1. That's something to keep in mind, so definitely able to win, just maybe not this week. He's in a good position, but we got a guy up front that's really hanging on to business right now. As we continue, up the next road is Patrick Gitter. Remember, he got some damage, and he's been racing in this series across Friday Night Lights and Full Length Cup Challenge in the last 2 years. 44 starts. His average starting position is 8th. His average finish is 8th. Guess where he's running? 7th. So slightly better than his average, but it's kind of cool to see how that correlation works. If you were to round the number, his average finish is 8.6. So it would round to 7th. So he's right around where you expect him to see him be, according to the statistics, which is really cool. He's also won multiple races. He won the Daytona race last year. He's 6-time winner in this full-length Cup Challenge, Friday Night Lights, mixed series here. Guy who just knows what he's doing. Patrick Gitter, no doubt about it. Then we move up the road a little further. Alex Murray. He races for Precision Speed Solutions. He's raced in 38 different races. He has an average finish of 16th. Average start is 16th. He's also a guy who's won just 1 race here in the Friday Night in the Full Length Cup Challenge. Just 1 race across the board, and having a great day today. 6th place. That 22 car's got some speed. He's got some practice in. He's good. He's fast, and he's definitely going to be hard to beat today. But of course, we got more cars up the road who we're going to talk about now. Ralph Hutchinson, right? Ralph, he used to be a driver I used to race against a lot. Really talented guy. He's fun to watch. Good on the short tracks. And apparently good here today. Currently running P5. He has 62 starts in the series. He is 6th place out of all those that have starts in the last year and a half. 62 total starts. Average finish is 16th. However, he's having a great day today, sitting top 5. He has yet to win, according to my board here, he has yet to win a race on the sheet here. So that tells me that he'd love to get a chance to do that, but he's got a ways to go to be able to do that. And that's the 19 of Ralph Hutchinson. Really cool dude, though, no doubt about it. Moving up the road a little further, Adam Benefiel. He is third most on the all-time list for drivers who have made starts. He has 78 starts out of all of the races here. He is an average finisher of 11th. His average start is 9th, but today he's running 4th. He's been doing better and better. His top 5s is kind of nuts compared to other drivers. He has 50 top 5 out of the 78. You can expect him to be in the top 5 way more often. About 44% of the time he's running in the top 5, which is pretty dang cool to see. And top 10s is 50. So kind of wild there. So 34 top 5s, I should say, 50 top 10s. So he's always going to be in that area. And he's won 8 races in this, whether that be the Friday Night Light Series or the Full Length Cup Challenge. 8-time winner. Guy's just a beast. Currently sitting P4, trying to hang on to his position, but just in front of him, we got a rookie, brand new to this stuff, which is Junsa Lim. Let me see if I can get that put in. There we go. He has 3 starts, average finish of 7th. He's kind of new, but he's running 3rd, and he has the ability to do really well. He has a great driving style, and I think he's going to be a staple if he continues to race in the Full Length Cup Challenge and show that he's really competitive, as we're going to start seeing more and more cars come down pit road. That is expected. Moving up to 2nd place, Lucas Hoytsma in the 97. I mean, what can I say about this guy? He won the championship last year. He's 2nd all-time in the all-time starts list. His average finish is 9th. Average start is 7th. But his average running position is 8th. The guy is just leaps and bounds better than some of those guys around him. And I gotta say, he's won 7 races across the board, including 1 championship. So he's fast. He's going to be fun to watch, no doubt about it, for the rest of the race. And obviously, he won last night in the Friday Night Lights Series. He'd like to do it again today, but he's got to catch Sean Conklin, the leader, of course. We've been talking about him all day. Conklin able to stretch his lead now over 9 seconds over the rest of the field. And something about this guy, he has 6 total starts total in this whole deal. And his average finish is 14th. He had a couple wrecks, but his average start is 5th. His average running position is 5th. So he is somebody who's up front all the time. Whether or not he finishes up there is just, according to how things play out. He only has 6 data points. Not very much. But this guy, he's been able to win, and he's won 1 race since joining, but it looks like if he's able to continue today, that might raise up to 2. And that is your top 10 current runners, as most of them are heading down pit road now.
Should have a fairly regular pit cycle if the last one is anything to tell. Good on you for having all of the data. I could never quite track it that much, but you've come with a lot of experience a lot of time. Got to say, this whole field hasn't really pitted, and yet still only 7 cars have ended up on the lead lap, so we are getting dangerously close to me having to press the button to change the gaps on the tower, because this isn't going to be very useful if the whole field is lapped. But wait until the pit stops are finished to work out what's going to happen between them. Alex Murray, Ralph Hutchinson, very, very close, trying to get around Kevin Zosiak there on the highlight.
Leaders on pit road.
All tyres. It's Conklin.
Yeah, Conklin going down pit road. This is going to change some things. New leader for the first time today. Lucas Hoytsma is going to lead some laps. And Conklin, of course, Hoytsman's got to come down pit road too, but I think he's going to come down. He's got to go sooner rather than later. We'll see what he chooses to do. He's going through turns 3 and 4 right now, and it looks like he's in a position where he's going to stay out on a racetrack. He's not coming down pit road. He's staying the lead yet another lap. He's going to put Conklin 1 lap down. So maybe that's a strategy here, trying to stay out as long as he can to trap the 58 a lap down, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe the first time we'll see Sean Conklin a lap down on the track. Appreciate it while you still have it, because he will come to catch up the field. And for now, until things settle out, let's toggle that gap before anyone comes after. Let's gap to the next car on the track so that the whole field isn't just a lap down on the road. Never ever quite seen a performance like this. Top three yet to pit is Delaney trying to get around some old traffic. I mean, actually, they're going to be the slow ones, really. It's a lap traffic that's going to be running their way around them. That's the 01, likely faster on fresh tyres up the inside. And I don't know if you want to gamble on the split strategy again. I have the feeling like it's just going to put you behind the 8 ball compared to the leader again. It is slower to stop late. You do spend more time on old tyres. It was worth a shot before you knew how dominant it would be. There's Hoitzma, and there's Lim behind.
I mean, you got to go as long as you can within reason. Losing too much time to the 58, not to mention it's already difficult as it is. But Conklin's going to be able to take back over the lead. And as you can see on the scoring pylon, I think during the pit cycle, if we could go back just to the lap down stuff so I know where folks are, and then after everybody's gone through the cycle, we'll be able to pull back up the distance between the cars. Just for now, keep that in mind. A lot of cars are... Conklin's going to be on the lead lap. Root's going to have to come down pit roads. Everyone else other than Conklin will have to come down pit road on the lead lap. Holy... Is that real? That is... scary. You're looking at it, and I think it's still going to be, a change, but I still cannot believe how many cars are going to be a lap down. At the end of this cycle, it could change, but what I'm noticing right now is if you go to the 6 car Delaney, he's right now in a little close battle with the 51 of Raymond Root, the 15 of Miller. These guys are kind of close to each other right now. 15 of Miller. If we can't
By the
get them on
way,
the screen
pit
there.
road penalty for Houston Lim. That's a race.
Oh my
turned
goodness.
rotten. He was manually black flagged by Bryson Hicksenbar. He must have announced that one on the chat. Now that he can hear me mention it, he'll mention it back to me. What happened? It would likely pit boxes when it's this. And that's a driver down and out, forced to drive through so fast and sent all the way back.
Yeah, this is the battle I was trying to bring up there, but yeah, terrible for Jun Salim. Hate to see it. He was in a good spot to get a podium finish today, but looks like that's going to be belayed, I guess is the best way to put it. I am just looking at this track, and it's so unusual to see this type of situation happen. I mean, we got a guaranteed caution coming up with the stage. It's one of the few times in my career I could say that I'm kind of excited for a caution, but yeah, I mean, I don't like planned cautions, but I think here, this would be so weird to see play out fully without a caution. Can you imagine what it would be without a caution? These guys just continue to go. I mean, I don't know. I think that folks are doing a really good job of keeping the cars underneath them. We get long runs in the full-length Cup Challenge. Easy peasy for these guys.
Been one of the greenest races we've seen, only 2 incidents and no big one like yesterday. Here's a real tangle down the back straight. Alex Murray leads out Ralph Huffington and Raymond Root. All for position. The 98 is not for position, no. He's going to be running faster, and in fact, Root's going to drop like a rock here. 58 laps on those tyres. And Murray, though, they were very, very close as they navigate around the lap traffic. Dirt, yeah, such a big factor in this next-gen car as well.
Take a look at that pylon. I still cannot get over that. Oh, I mean, it's going to be hard to even make any comments about this because I'm looking at some of the cars. They're still getting the wall. The 15 of Robert Miller. This little pack right here is kind of where you're going to want to keep looking. The 67 of Lim, he's going to have to make his way through these cars. He has fresher tires, a faster car, and also a faster driver behind the wheel, I think, right now. But, oh, man, the 15 slowed up big time on the bottom of the racetrack. 67 had to go up to the top, able to make that pass easy peasy, as now he's side by side back there and pulls back in the line behind Hoitzma. But yeah, just a different lap for the 67 now. And he's got to gain a lot of time to catch up to Conklin, and I don't see that happening. as this battle on screen is the best one I see across the whole racetrack.
Only one more driver left in this lead pack before we most drivers have stopped. So I'm bringing back that tower because that pylon's quickly getting worse and worse and worse as the race goes on. I never usually have to toggle it to out an oval race. That's just not normal. But I mean, nothing about this race really has been normal. We still have, we still have another 30 laps in stage, ends at 185.
Oh, the 6-car Delaney.
He is slow. He's on old tires.
He's stayed out so dang long. I think it's his only real chance here to actually do anything, man. He's got to throw off the race in some way, shape, or form. If he stays out long and a caution hits at the right time, it could benefit him. It could benefit others. I don't know, but he's just trying something different. You got to, man.
I just think that on any other race, you do have to try something else, but I think you lose so much ground to the lead and to the field during this race. I think it's going to really, really shoot you in the foot if you go for it for too long. But as I mentioned earlier, you're sort of trapped on it if you make the move. And at that point, you have to make a second stop under a yellow to have any chance of returning to the usual strategy. Some of the drivers, like Jose Medina, I don't know if he wants to do the strategy or if he's just committed himself to it now and he can't get out of the cycle. And that would be the most unfortunate situation to be in.
Oh man, this is one of those races that normally I know what to say. Normally I look at this type of stuff and I know what I'm looking at. But look, I guess right here we could say this is a battle for position. Benefield and Hutchinson just changed spots. Sorry, and also you're seeing right here the 97 of Hoytsma right there. This is a battle for position, I believe. No, that's Hutchinson and Benefield. There we go. I just want to make sure I got that right. Benefield's going to make that pass. Now Paul Hill's a lap down, though. He's trying to pass him. Benefield's just trying to keep moving forward. Now he's got to catch up to Murray, who's 5 seconds up the road. But, like I was saying, I normally know how to call these races and feel comfortable with it. But today, I don't understand it. It is actually chaotic enough to where it's throwing me off mentally. You got Conklin so far out in front that it's a little unusual. But if we can, I would like to actually ask if you could pull up that graphic I like to have where Conklin and Hoytsma, the distance between second and third, if we can. If we could have that come up, I'm just curious to see how much faster one car is doing to the other, because that's going to be the eventual 1-2. Here we go. So about a 10th a lap difference. Conklin's running... Oh, whoa, hang on a second there. Hoytsma matches lap time.
Could have just hit the wall. Could have run into traffic. I mean, he's running into cars all over the place.
It was
right
traffic.
Now.
You're right.
It'll take time away.
Yeah, I mean, now it's time to see. He's going to have to deal with traffic for the rest of the race.
This will be another slower one, but I don't think it's going to happen consistently enough for this many laps. Look how long it's taking to get Lucas Hoytsma's lap in. That speaks to it alone, and even then, Hoytsma caught up just in the same way.
Man, it's just so much faster. So much faster. Like I said, I normally know how to do these types of things, but right now it's the strategies for everyone else. If you're not Conklin, I'm trying to decide what the best move you could have is. And right now, I don't think there is one. I think the goal switched from trying to win the race, unless you're Hoytsma. Hoytsma, of course, still, I think, has a shot, but he's 12, 13 seconds behind the leader. I mean, you got to pull a strategy to make that happen. And the problem is that there's not many viable ones right now. We're hitting lap 160 as they cross the stripe. Remember, we got to get to stage 2. Stage 2 is 185, so we're about 25 laps away from the end of the stage. And because of that, I don't think there's anything that he can do, Hoytsma or Murray or anyone else in the field for that matter, can do to be able to stay on the lead lap, or I guess to catch the leader, the eventual leader, Conklin. I mean, have you ever seen a race like this before? I mean, it's unique to me, Howie.
I've not seen one in iRacing. For some reason, like I've watched a little bit of the last couple of NASCAR Cup Series seasons. It reminds me of 2 years ago, Kyle Larson at the Bristol Night Race, where like he was just gone and no one was going to get close. That probably wasn't as dominant as this, though.
Yeah, I was at that race. Yeah, one of the few races that I wish I didn't go to. I'm going to be honest. But I had a lot of good fun times prior to the race, and that was for sure. Bristol's fun to watch whenever they have tire fall off, but when it's like that and you have a guy lead all the dang time, it's not the same. It feels a little odd, to be honest with you. But, man, just now, that's a great analogy, Howie. I'm surprised you brought that up. Bristol, Larson. As it looks like Delaney, who was the leader, 71 laps looks to be the call. He heads down pit road, and can we flip the pylon now back over to the laps for a second? Just now with Delaney on pit road, that's going to change the way this looks. And we'll see how many cars are on the lead lap. We know Delaney's going to get lapped, so he's already going to be off the lead lap again. As the leader is now catching lap traffic, this is going to be the hard part for Conklin. He's got to get his way through a lot slower cars and safely. We saw earlier Nolan Hodgson was following in line, top 5, and then a crash happened in front of him and took him out. You never know how that's going to change or how that's going to work. So just trying to stay safe for the 58. And looking at this pylon right now, I believe that's going to put the top 10 a lap down, but he's about to pass Johnny Avila in the 63. This is for 10th place. He's 10th. He's getting lapped for 10th. And now he's lapped. Now they're going to catch Matt DeCiani in front. You got Robert Miller there. He's already a lap down, but Matt DeCiani in the 4 car is the next car. He's 9th place. And then after that, he's got about 3 seconds to catch Kluot. But yeah, Hoytsma's 14 seconds back, 13 seconds back, nowhere in sight. And he's got to pass all these cars if he wants to do anything with them anyway. I think that the only thing that's going to change Conklin's favor is a caution if it happens. He doesn't want to see one, but I guarantee you every other one of the 42 cars out there, or I should say every single one of the, I'd say all those one lap down, 18 cars out there will want to see a caution at some point. But my God, I can't believe this is happening.
How many cars do you think will have lap by the end? Do you think he could maybe leave the top 3 and make the rest of the field, because only one car gets its lap back under the caution? We're going to get another stage soon, 185, so with just under 20 to go as we're running around the high banks of Darlington. They do say it's a driver skill testing track. I think it's tested skills and compared skills more than anything else I've seen. I do think it is funny that this is the race I get, because you're struggling to call it, and I'm like, I've got to make sense of this one as well, and try to just watch it all.
Yeah, I got to say, though, at the end of the day, there's some drivers that are surprising me. Here, let's just go ahead and start there, because DeCiani just got lapped. Now he's up to 7th. He's going to try and do that, but for now, I'm going to try and ignore that. I want to mention a few names that are standing out to me. Timothy Harper in the 23, sitting 18th. Seems like a pretty decent day for him. I don't get to see him up towards the front that often, but he does have he does do well at certain types of tracks. But Darlington just is going to be unique for him. Sitting P18, another driver, Casey Graves, just a couple cars up the road, sitting 16th. Kind of having a decent day, but obviously it's hard to have a good day whenever you're a lap down. And every single person a lap down right now is kind of stuck, but a great recovery for Yunsa Lim, sitting P12 right now. That P12 car, he had a penalty. He had to go back down pit road, but he's still in the top 15. That just shows the large amount of speed that 67 has, but still just not able to catch up to the leader.
I mean, we're going to see a lapping like we've never seen before. we'll talk a little bit about the driver standings, not because it matters this early on, but like because we're starting to see patterns in who's consistently performing and who could be a threat. Before this race, Paul Hill led the championship without a win on the books. He's just been that consistently good. And Nicholas Roman has been second. Both have had pretty poor days here today. And who's going to claim the crown from them? It'll be Sean Conklin, straight to the lead of the championship. He was third going in. Now, I mean, this is going to be dominant. And his two biggest rivals, like nothing, he'll be the first driver with 2 wins on the season.
I'm looking right now at a short little group of cars running 13th, 14th, and 15th right now. Paul Gallimore, if we can get a camera on him. The 11th, oh, that's the old Paul. That's not his paint scheme either for some reason.
Another one?
Another one, I know. On my screen, I'm seeing as a silver car. So here's what we're seeing domination-wise. There are some statistics. Back when the full-length Cup Challenge was a different league. They had a different title for it. However, Bryson pulled up some statistics for us. At 2020, the cars that finished on the lead lap at Darlington only was 1 car back in it was a different title for the league, but Darlington had 1 car on the lead lap back in 2020. Bristol in the fall in 2020 had 1 car on the lead lap. 2021 Martinsville in the spring had 1 car on the lead lap. 2020 Bristol in the spring had 2 cars, and Bristol in 2021 in the fall had 2 cars. So how on it has been multiple years since we've seen this type of dominance ever. I wish that there was more information I could use, but there's just not that much.
I'm going to ask him and check. Was it the same driver that dominated quite like that? And are they still around today? Just going to make Bryson do a little bit more work while he has to do live race control. Always appreciate what race control has to do. But today has been one of the easier days of their lives. Not too many incidents. You have to watch the pit boxes in and out, but also not a huge amount of pit stops, just the expected per stage. 10 to go in the stage. Ralph Hutchinson on Alex Murray is the closest battle.
Exactly, that's what I was looking at just right when you brought it up. Hutchinson and Murray, they're right on top of each other. So, and just passing that lap car, Gallimore in the 11. Looks like right now Hutchinson's got it. Sorry, Murray's got it, I should say. He's in that 23 car up in front. And 22 car, rather. And the 19 right behind. This is for position on the lead lap. You don't get to see that often today. Going to the inside for Alex Murray. On the outside for Murray. Inside Hutchinson. Hutchinson's going to make that pass and slide up. New 4th place driver, Ralph Hutchinson. As the 22 gets up into the wall a little bit and loses a lot of ground. As the 11 car gets loose. Almost spins out over the exit of turn 4.
I have a cash version of what the 11 is meant to look like. I might get him I might get you his custom idea if we want a complete field. I mean, we don't have too much else to do, but he's been quite.
That would be good. Yes, I'll send that through.
I will. I'll get that ID for you and make that one easy. Should I just read it out on stream just to make this tricky for you? No, I won't. There it is. There it is in our little chat. There it is in our little chat. We'll get one more paint done, locked and loaded. So, really, the first special paint race of this season, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I can only apologise, but I definitely did try many deletes and refreshes, and then we're just picking up the pieces left over. At least we committed to finishing the job before the end of the race.
There you go. I gotta say right now, though, can we switch the... Actually, no, we're already on the same thing. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. 7 cars on the lead lap. It's about to be 6. Blake Kluot is about to get lapped. He has the leader just 1 car behind him. The 58 is catching up to him, no doubt about it. And once he gets past, we're getting to the end of the stage here shortly. Again, 185 is when we expect to see the stage caution come out. He'd love to stay on the lead lap, but I guarantee you the leader of the race, I think he's going to try and pass as many of them as he possibly can. Try and be that much of a dominating factor here. Looking here again at this race, lap 185, that puts us to be right around 7 laps to go right now. And once he passes Kluot, the next car he's got to pass is the same car who was running second to him a handful of laps ago. Patrick Gitter. 27 seconds back, just a couple seconds up the road. I don't think he's going to be able to get there, but I think he's going to be able to catch Kluot. And it would just be 6 cars on the lead lap when this stage comes out.
Step by step by step, I feel like here comes another. Oh, side by side, and it's almost effortless once he actually makes it into the turn. I've hit refresh, so you'll have to believe me when I tell you this is Gitter and Murray. Next closest battle for 5th on the track. Gitter got quite close there on corner entry, but sort of lost out quite a bit on exit. You know, the aero characteristics of these next-gen cars sometimes are impossible to work out or understand. There's a reason they put me on Fridays, all right? I love that little O'Reilly thing. I love it. Raymond Root. It's another close battle with Cody Moore and Neil Pearson. That's 3 cars on the track. And I'm keeping an eye on the one car that got away here. Paul Gallimore in the Beast Mode 11.
There you go. There we go. The Silver Bullet's back.
Sometimes you just lose some when trying to fix.
Whoa! Leader Zodiac. Leader almost turned to 37 as Zodiac around. Sorry to draw attention away from that just for a moment. He just got by to 14. Just almost made contact with the 37 going into turn 1 and 2. Watch this right here. It was close. Inches. Ah, golly. He's still leaning on it too. 37 just backs out and says, "Okay, go. Just go. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it."
That is indeed survival.
Oh. 6 cars on the lead lap. And if he had another 10 laps, I think he might have caught Gitter, Murray, and Hutchinson to be just 3 cars on the lead lap. We're going to see them come around to get the white flag in the stage. Remember, stage 2 ends here at the end of this lap. Oh, he spun Jeremy B. Brown. B. Brown on the inside of the racetrack. Caution probably is going to come out there sideways on the front straightaway. And the leader spun him out.
Well, this is going to be awkward. Let's take a look. Oh, it's no contact.
Oh, it's a net code. Net code.
I think that's aero, actually.
Aero?
I think he's taken air off the spoiler on that. I don't see any sign of contact in the way the car moved. It just sort of slid out. I'm going to consider that taking the air off the spoiler myself. I see a lot on this car, and that fits the category almost exactly. Jeremy B. Brown, worst time, worst place. That's 1 car out, and that's the stage.
Yeah, he blows a motor too with the 07. Let's take a look at the stage results here on your screen. Holy cow. Again,
that's not right.
Conklin, Hoytsma, Benefiel, Hutchinson, Murray, and Gitter all stay on the lead lap. Everyone else lap down. Blake Kluot, Duggar, DeCiani, and Johnny Avila. I mean, this is something else. Watch pit road here for Conklin live if we can. He's going to come down pit road and take tires. So will maybe about 6 cars. But no one else can go down pit road right now. Or not, apparently.
Like sheep. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
No, they're all coming. There's all of them are coming, apparently. I think that they made a rule where lap cars can come with the leaders or something like that. That wasn't always the case, but folks coming down pit road now. Man, I'm shaking my head. I can't believe that this is even possible.
We're not done on the race either. Like we've got to make it through the rest. We've got to survive and thrive to the top. I'm impressed.
Isn't this just halfway or barely? We got like 100 laps to go when we get the green. 100 laps to go.
That's over halfway.
That's what we're gonna have to deal with.
Halfway.
That's a little over. Okay, good. Because this race, things can change. So remember, anything could happen. 58 course wins the race off pit road, no doubt about it. We already talked to him at the end of the first stage. It'd be weird to talk to him now because he already, he won a stage again. 2 stages, fastest lap of the race. Guy's just nuts. But I'm trying to find someone who, I guess, I'm trying to see. Can we bring back up the pylon for a second if we can?
I'm going to need a second on that. I'm giving it its little massage restart that someone's needed over a very long race. So we'll get that. We'll get that.
Okay. As we continue, though, again, 7 cars look to be on the lead lap. I think it's going to be one car getting the free pass, which was Blake Kluot, who got the free pass, able to get his lap back. I don't think anyone's going to take the wave around. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to do that right now. Maybe a few who are really, really old tires, but they'll have to come down pit road again and hope for a caution. We're going to go ahead and get doubled up, get ready for the restart. Hoytsma's finally got up to the front now. He's going to be on the outside, it looks like, as Conklin chooses the inside. That's a different choice than what we've seen so far. Inside hasn't really been getting the best of restarts. Outside's been the lane to go to. But this is the first time that we have a group of cars back up front, close together again. We'll see what adjustments the 83, this 97, and the 19 did to make their cars better, because now they got to catch that 58 car. This is their only opportunity if we don't see another caution. They got to make this work. We're doubled up, ready for this restart. Pace cars in pit road, going through the restart zone. Get ready. Here we go for the final 105 laps of the race. Through that restart zone, back underway.
New drivers there out of place. Blake Kluart dropping back. That's probably going to get cleared, that black flag, but the pacing order was very, very confusing, and iRacing's caught quite a few drivers out. So that's quite a substantial gap in the middle. Alan Duggar is going to make that place pass. And due to lap down cars, I'm not sure what happened on that restart, because actually Blake Kluart's all the way back here, and then everyone else in between is laps down. What a day.
Well, Yunsun Lim is back on the lead lap in the 67. That's actually
Oh, he's
unique.
gone long on the stint. He's left 45 laps on those tyres. He actually stayed out. He's hoping for a caution. Save Stephen Williams and Raymond Root. They've stayed out. Robert Miller, too. They're hoping for a caution, but this race hasn't produced any cautions outside of the state. Well, there's been 2 incidents, but they've lined up with the end of stages. So we've just had the 3, the one on the start, and the 2 that lined up close to stages. We've not had a lot of wrecking in this field. Blake Kluart was the lucky dog, and the line didn't quite get to serve it in time because the field didn't catch. Thank you for that shout out in the chat. That was the confusion on the start.
Wow. I'm looking at this now. Up front, it has settled out. Conklin's got the lead over a half a second to Hoytsma, followed by Benefiel a second back, Hutchinson a second and 3/10. So got them single filed now, and only 8 cars on a lead lap, but really only 6 of them are going to be the ones in a good position. Blake's a little too far back. Everybody else here, it's really going to be a 6-car race. Out of 43 starters, folks, we had 43 cars take the green flag. And, I mean, this is just kind of a wild race. It's very unusual. And only really 6 cars are with a chance, as the pylon has been updated to show you the gaps between the cars themselves.
We'll look again when there are more cars on lap, but trust me, I've done this job many a time, and I get complaints when so many cars are lapped that you can't actually see anything outside of the top 5. So that's me trying to react. But we will take another check-in to see how many cars have been lapped down the line later, because it's going to be more later in the run.
Oh, if we stay green, yeah, no doubt about it. You know, 100 laps to go is a long way to go, but one of my favorite things to do in the race is this kind of radioactive thing, just to listen to the cars go. And one place I'd like to ride on with as I'm looking on the field is going to be towards the back end of this field, actually. Let me see if I can get you a car number here, who I want to ride along with just for a little while. I'd like you to get on board with Thomas Kulmacheski in the 88 car if we can. We haven't talked about him much. He's throwing it back to Dale Jr., but he's in a pretty interesting spot. Let's try and listen to his motor just for a little while and see how he's driving, navigating the back of the field. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to tell you, that was about 5 laps he rode on board with Thomas Kulmacheski in the 88 car. You can see he's stuck in a hornet's nest right now in the back of the field. Most of these cars are a lap down, but they're trying to race each other for position. 81 just in front of him got a little loose, had to get up and out of the way. And now the 88 car trying to chase him back down up through the field. But up front, not much has changed other than the gaps. Take a look at the battle for 3rd and 4th up towards the front if we can get Benefiel and Hutchinson. This battle's starting to close in, and the leader's long gone, about 2 seconds up the road from Hoytsma. So a ways to go, but Benefiel, Hutchinson, Gitter, Murray, they're all kind of closely tight-knit together in this little 5-car group. And I want to tell you a story, actually, if that's okay with you, that this race kind of reminds me of. All right, Labor Day, September 4th in 1950, all right? NASCAR was mostly running on dirt bull rings, but here in South Carolina, some peanut farmer named Harold Brasington just carved out of the wild this egg-shaped 1.25-mile asphalt monster called Darlington. That's what we're racing on right now with 92 laps to go, okay? There's this fella from Southern California named Johnny Mance. Hot shoe, right? Open wheel guy. He run the Indy 500 twice. Finished 7th one year. And he did some Formula One relief racing, but not much. He had started in only 2 NASCAR races prior to coming to Darlington. And he decided to race this race. And so this is his 3rd start. He drove a little Plymouth, number 98, 6-cylinder. It was a thrift mobile co-owned by a moonshiner named Hubert Westmoreland, I should say. And Bill France himself co-owned the car. It was the slowest car in the entire field. Nearly 10 miles an hour off from the top guy who had the fastest car in the race, right? He started dead last, 43rd, right? But this guy, he had a secret that nobody really was thinking about, right? This new asphalt at Darlington is like sandpaper at the time. It would tear tires all to pieces, right? It was gritty, abrasive, chewing up rubber like it owes it money, right? And so the green flag drops, but what he did was he thought speed was not king that day. He put on a set of heavy-duty truck tires, 8-ply, hard compound hauler rubber, built to take a beating on rough roads and never quit, right? He went out there on slow but durable tires, green flag drops. Everybody starts shredding their tires left and right. Red Byron alone goes through 24 sets throughout the course of a 500-mile race. 24 sets of tires, right? But, of course, Curtis Turner, Buck Baker got in wrecks. They were out. But Mance, he just cruised steady. He didn't pit as much. That Plymouth didn't have a lot of power. But the truck tires, they didn't wear. They didn't blow. He only pits for gas. And while the field's cycling through tires constantly, Johnny's lapping around the track smooth and smart on slower but more durable tires. He takes the lead on lap 50 and never gives it back. 6 hours, 38 minutes, and 40 seconds later, over 6 hours of racing, that guy crossed the stripe by 9 laps to win the race. You know, that story is something that I was thinking about whenever I see this 58 car. But the difference is he's got the speed. He has got something in that car. He's got the opposite. It's like he's got truck tires on the car. Everybody else is just running in a different zip code. He's 3 seconds ahead of the leader now, but for most of this race, it's been a more than 10 seconds gap, and that caution that came out for the stage really pushed him above everybody else. And this story is just something that's so old NASCAR, gritty. It's so freaking cool. But nowadays, everything is regulated. Everybody's tires are the same. The car sizes are down to the half of a percentage point. You never freaking know. Of course, people are trying to make little adjustments to make tricks work. But up front, Conklin, it's 100% always going to be the driver in the set as a team. They work together. If you don't got a good driver and the best set in the world, it's still not going to go to the front. Conklin's got a great set underneath him. He's a great driver himself, leading this race over 3 seconds for the rest of the field. I mean, that just reminds me straight up of that story. Not a 6-hour race. He was able to beat everybody by 9 laps. This case, most of the field, if we could switch the intervals back to the laps just for a second, take a look at this. How many cars are a lap down already? And this is in modern day. Modern day. More cars are a lap down than there are in the top 10. We got only 8 cars on the lead lap, and that will change probably to 6 by the end of the race, maybe more. So keep that in mind, that this is a dominating race. You don't see this every day. And, you know, all in this case, give all the credit to those folks running with Sean Conklin and Ryko. They are just working together so dang well, and they're getting a setup that works great and a driver that knows what he's doing.
How much practice do you think he got in order to make this happen? And also,
years.
Are you looking forward to for the race tomorrow? Obviously, the NASCAR Cup Series. Would you rather a race like this, or would you rather a bit of a closer one? I mean, it would be extraordinary.
No, it's rare. You don't get to see this type of racing that often. You know, I watch a lot of races. I've seen most every NASCAR race over the last handful of years, but today, I think tomorrow is going to be completely different than what we're seeing in the sim. Tires are going to wear off. Denny Hamlin said it himself. It's going to look crazy tomorrow. But today, what I would rather see, I mean, I can't really tell you. I just prefer a good race. I want to see good racing. And right now, you're seeing it up front. This is a clean, something on iRacing you don't get every day. You don't get clean, green racing all the time on iRacing. Hardly ever. You join an A open race, guess what? You're probably going to be under caution for half of it. All right? This group of cars are folks that put all their effort into building their cars. Not just Sean Conklin here, but every driver in the field. These guys came out here, and of course, everybody makes mistakes every now and again, but that does not mean that these guys aren't great drivers. If you were to put them in an A open, some of these guys would actually blow your doors off. No doubt about it. But when they're together in a full-length race like this, it really does bring out the showing that there are large gaps between some of the best in the sim. I mean, great teams, guys that's raced Coke. You're looking at an ex-Coke driver right there in Delaney, and you're just seeing these guys keep it green and clean, and it's a good race. If you were in this thing, you are exhausted, you are tired, you are doing all you can to keep the car straight, but I guarantee you your heart rate is up because this racetrack is so difficult to drive. It's so hard, and so many people struggle at it. I know I'm one of them. I didn't do too well here when I raced last year. I finished 11th, but this track still is so hard to beat, so hard to get a gist of it, and it's it's so fun to drive, just in general. Forget having other cars on the track. It's fun to go by yourself and drive it. Now to race others, that takes a whole nother level of grit. And these guys got it, and they're staying clean. Only a handful of mistakes today, and right here, that's all I could ask for. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to watch.
And the thing that surprised me most about the story you told was 6 hours. Was it another 400, 500-mile race? Because if it wasn't, that
it was a 500-mile race.
Because obviously
500 miles.
Obviously, we talk about how the cars aren't as fast as they used to, but they're certainly faster than they were in the 1950s. So they get through the same distance in a much quicker time. So I guess that makes sense. But still, you think that's just how long the race was. It was obviously in the era where you got moonshiner cars to run around the track. It was a very different time for the Cup Series, and that's the 26 of Paul Hill into the 10. 10's around, and that's the yellow.
First.
I don't think any more victims, but that was called preemptively and carefully, and that's going to make our one of our first cautions out of cycle.
Yeah, this is actually going to make life a lot easier for some drivers, but still difficult. Can we pull up let's look at this replay first, and then we'll look at stints. 10 car, this is a little further back. 26 of Paul Hill on the bottom. Duggar on the top, Alan Duggar. 26 there. I don't see any problems yet. They're just racing side by side. Nothing out of the ordinary yet. Going into 1 and 2. 26 went way low on the apron. It's not normal to go that low. If you go back and look at it again just a little bit further, look how low, I guess from high above it'd be a little better to see it. But you can see he goes well below that black line. He has his left side's tires in the clean track, and that's just covered in marbles. And because of that, it's going to get the car loose. He came up the track, and no doubt about it, he hit the car on the outside, and he's out. But the huge benefit for Jun Salim. He gets the free pass because he was first car one lap down. He had just gotten past, and now he's going to get his lap back, and then he'll come down pit road, get tires, and it's going to benefit him. But a lot of cars choosing to come down. Some cars probably will stay out, try to take the wave around, and hope for a caution again. But I don't see that happening again. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But again, like I just got done saying, you don't get to see long green flag runs like this very often. And we got to the point now where a caution finally came out. This is our third caution for the entire race for incident. And it's not very common to see every day.
But that's what we call the commentator's curse in the business. That one was...
Oh, no, there's no such thing. It's just going to happen whether or not I say it or not. That contact was going to happen. I still believe there's no such thing as that. It just depends on how the race has been going. You go back and look at the entirety of the race, you'll see giant green flag runs. They came down under green flag pit stops. You don't get that in the A Open. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Then you set the line. Then you set the line. I feel like
that doesn't mean anything. This wreck was going to happen one way or another. That's the truth of the matter. I don't believe in that commentators. I don't even believe in that jinx stuff. I don't believe in it.
I've seen too many horrible things that I've been associated with in my life, unfortunately. Too many just like horrible moments where you say it and then 2 seconds later it like happens in front of your eyes and you just think, oh, the horror. Oh, the horror.
That's just one way to stay silent. You know, why have commentary at all if it's going to ruin a race?
Like, I'm okay with causing the caution or two because sometimes they make a race interesting. You know, like...
come on, man. Like I said, it's not it's the drivers making the mistakes. That's all it was there. So, like I said, in the middle of that too, drivers make mistakes here and there. It happens, part of it. But we're gonna have this restart. Take a look at your top group right here: Conklin, Hoytsma, Benefield, Hutchinson, Gitter, and Murray. These guys have been on the lead lap forever. I'm going to reiterate, there's a lot of cars coming around the racetrack right now, full bore, trying to catch up to the back of the field, who are going to be taking the wave around. They're going to cross the stripe here and try and catch up to the back bumper of the lead pack and stay on the lead lap. Right now I see 10 cars on the lead lap as we're coming to the restart. There might be more.
Few drivers staying out, Johnny Avila, Matt DiCiani choosing to run it long. I think maybe with a fuel save you could make the end, but you'd have to save and hope. But we have seen drivers go around 71 laps, so 73 isn't impossible. I do feel like some are going to save because some are going to try and split it in two. We're green again.
Beautiful day for racing, clean and green. Here we go, going in turn 1 and 2. Everybody's trying to get settled in. This is where you want to gain the most positions you can. A lot of cars make moves here. Be careful. Getting up out of the groove is not a good sign. Single file for most of the field, as it looks like now the pylon has updated. Oh, actually not quite. Yeah, no, that's still the distance between cars. Look at this, Patrick Gitter trying to make a move to the inside of Hutchinson.
There's your update, by the way.
Thank you. Looks like that we have a total of 10 cars on the lead lap, just the top 10.
You see him end the line with the lucky dog, has to try and work his way back up. He's doing a pretty good job of it though, gapping cars along the way. It is a good comeback from a drive-through penalty. Usually that would doom you at Darlington, but he's still going to claim points. I do think he might be a championship contender as time goes on. Getting real feisty here around Alex Murray, not being able to take the top line. Now he's finally in the groove. This is
battle right here. Paul Hill making a move on Murray again.
The bout, by the way, the last time you're going to get to see Lucas Hoitzma close to Sean Conklin in this intense gap. So, you know, this is on board Hoitzma, just want to say for a second, like, this is, you know, this is slowly going to disappear from him. But this is one of the last chances he sort of gets to see that.
Who knows? Maybe he's fixed his car. Maybe he did something under this caution to make it a little more competitive. We're going to find out together. But, no, I think... I just got to say, it's going to be difficult for anybody to compete with him. But yeah, 10 cars being on the lead lap only, and there's still chaos happening in the back of the field, still trying to get organized. Some cars are 3 wide in some places on the exit of turn 4. For example, the 67 Alim, who is on the lead lap, is trying to go back through the field, but he has to pass a lot of cars. Oh my golly, 23 got into the outside walls. Lim was able to make the pass, stay on the lead lap.
That was tough.
Now he's caught DeCiani.
Oh,
3
no.
wide.
It's still happening. 23 in the wall again. He's struggling in this traffic.
It's fine. It's good. He's driving good. Don't worry about it. Hitting the wall, that's normal. It's Darlington. That's what you do. But man, it's fun to watch. Right up front, Lim's continuing his march to the front. Let's try and cover that as much as possible. Lim to the inside of, I believe that's Medeiros there. Just got the pass done. Medeiros having a good day. 16th right now, but Lim still on the lead lap, just trying to get back up to the back end of the lead lap cars.
Making his charge, and a lot of this is on raw pace. Some of these cars are old on tyres. The car ahead, Johnny Avila, has old tyres, but a lot of them equal on the stint, and he's just been able to make his way past them. Pick yourself back up off the ground after a drive-through penalty. It's impressive work, and it makes him, I mean, obviously if you were to pick a driver of the day, I don't think we need to do a vote, but if you were to pick a second best driver of the day, could give it to this 67.
You absolutely could. But I'd say still the top 2 actually have not separated as much as I thought they would for today. I got to say that 97 is sticking around. Not as much as, you know, normally would, but look at the, can we pull up the gap stint thing again between Hoitzma and Conklin? That little thing to determine the speed, the distance between lap times wise. Obviously, I still think it's going to grow, but not by much. Look at this. It's only by less than 1/10 of a second. Not much at all between Conklin and Hoitzma. Hoitzma's got his best shot to win today, probably. Let's see what happens, because I think visually it looks like he's slightly faster through turns 1 and 2 and into turn 3, but turn 4 is where Conklin just drives away. And that time again, nearly identical lap times.
Hearing some grinding against the wall there for Hoitzma's car. That might slow him down. Now the gap's a second. Just trying to keep it together through these corners.
And I do want to go ahead and reiterate something. We have 35 cars that are out there still driving. 35 cars that are out there on the racetrack still trying to make laps. Lowest of them all right now is William Owens, 24 laps down. But as you go up further, Tyler Hunter's 11 laps down from his first lap incident. Jose Medina is the first car that I've seen so far without any incident that is still running 4 laps down. And then you got 3 guys that are 3 laps down. And looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total cars that are 2 laps down. And for the 1 lap down guys, you got 11 1 lap down cars. Everybody else is on the lead lap, and that's 10 cars total on the lead lap right now.
Drain led by Bobby Anderson. It has Duggar and Root in it, and a lap car in the middle. The 88 of Kormacheski is slicing between this field. Not being obviously the next gen at this track, it's not a race of side-by-side action, not quite the same as yesterday's either, but you know, you can get your passes done if you're more consistent. Alex Murray trying to send it to the inside, and then both cars rebound into the wall. 14 quite a bit more, though. I think Kluart has really struggled in the mid-corner, and that's going to make that one easy. A little bit too much time in the wall, building up too much of a stripe. And that's another place for Murray.
I've called a lot of races so far in the last year and a half of me doing this, Jazz, and this is one of those that I'm not going to forget. It's a memorable one. It's just because it's so uniquely different than what I've seen. And it's not a bad thing. I still think it's a unique thing. Brandon Hastings, though, look, 22 spots from the start of the race, currently running 20th. So then after that, Murray, though. Murray's really kind of shown it's a little more impressive for Murray, even though he went less, just because he's all the way up to 6th, still in the lead lap. That's the hard part. Staying on the lead lap today is probably going to be the goal for most drivers. If you're not on the lead lap, it feels kind of down. But if you get on the lead lap, you can at least say, well, at least I was close. I was on the lead lap. That's pretty good. But then again, your top 5 are all separated by about 3 seconds. It's hot too. 99 degrees, not bad.
One off perfection. One off a perfectly rounded perfection. Kind of everything you want out here on the track. We're not going to see the nighttime like we saw last night. Race going to be happily in the hot daylight all the way to the end, unless we do actually use the unlimited green white checkers available to us, which would be a surprise given the way this field has raced so far today. You never know. There are surprises around every turn in NASCAR, aren't there? That's why we keep coming back.
You never know what's going to happen in a NASCAR race. You got a point. You never know. And we still don't know how this race is going to turn out. I mean, we have a pretty good idea. But that doesn't mean that it's set in stone. I am really surprised with the recovery from Lynn. He went and sped on pit road, came back from being a lap down, now running 8th, and he's trying to chase down Blake Kluot. Got a ways to go to get there. But if he can get a top 5 out of this, I'd consider that a race win for that 67. That'd be entertaining to watch. Because we got more car heading down pit road. Casey Graves in the 01 choosing to head down pit road. 57 laps to go. You can make it to the end from here, no doubt about it. So if you want to come down pit road, the door's open. You just got to walk through it.
And Dean, I think many drivers are going to try and split this stint into 2, even though if you could barely make it. I'm actually curious if you listen on board. Is Conklin trying to fuel save, or is this just not realistic? I feel like he knows what's a possibility and what's not. Listening on this engine and just watch these revs, I have the feeling he is pretty much running through those turns as usual, which to me suggests that he's going to try and make this a non-fuel saver. Some drivers have barely been able to get like 71 laps out of the tank, so you would need to put in the work now to make that one happen. I think if everyone else is on the same page about stopping halfway, then his race doesn't really get disrupted. 2 seconds out already. Raymond Root still trying to work at Alan Duggar here, bit by bit. Very, very close on the track.
Now, whether or not they're going to be able to make that pass for position is yet to see, but I think that 51's got a great 1 and 2. I think he's going to have a run here down the back. He might make a move into 3. We'll see. Again, 54 laps to go. Whether or not folks are going to actually try and make it on this tank of gas, I'm not hearing it. I don't see it. I still think people are just gonna. They might have to come down pit road one more time.
It seems like every driver
Right.
is going for the pit road. I don't think you can make 73 unless you are pushing it. I mean, I say that and I'm going to get surprised. So, you know, watch this space. If there's one thing I just get wrong, it is pit strategy. Don't put me in the spotter seat. Let me tell you that. I'll give you something extraordinary and then leave like it wasn't my problem.
I'm looking at the gap from the lead to second place, and it's the closest it's been all day, but it's still growing. So, Hoytsma's doing all he can, guys. I mean, just understand that it's not like Hoytsma's not trying here. He is doing all he can to try and catch Conklin, but Conklin just has got this thing down. He's figured it out. Different world than it may have been a few days ago, or whatever it may have been. And the full-length Cup Challenge, you know, it's different. You got so much changing. It looks like that after some calculation from Bryson Hicksonball, he let us know that leaders should be able to make it on fuel. Wave arounds are pitting. So those that came down wave around will be heading down pit road. That's the situation. So the folks in the lead will be able to make it to the end on this run. So so no pits. Oh, hang on to it right there. What a save. Did you see that there on your screen?
Timothy Harper just holding on and getting very, very loose out the turn. Let's take a look on board to see that wheel action that made that one work. Oh, probably a bit of air taken off that spoiler. Holds it together. There's a lot of space on like the bottom of the straights, which does sort of help you pick it up back together. iRacing doesn't like throwing automatic cautions. A lot of the cautions have been manually thrown because it counts quite a bit below the line.
One of the ways that you could save a race car is by holding the gas all the way down and the brake all the way down at the same time. And I think that may have had a little part of that, maybe. Not sure, but he saved the car really dang well. Give him some props for that. We're coming down now to the late evening in the sim time. Local time in the sim right now is 5:18 local. So it's going to get a little bit more difficult for the drivers to see as they head into turn 3 and 4. If we can go on board with one of the cars going into this corner right here, I just want to see how that sun is doing. So it might be high enough to where it's not quite a problem yet, but it will become one. So here's on board right now with Alex Murray.
That and Benefield.
I believe. Is that Murray?
That's
Benefield. Sorry, Benefield. Thank you. Sorry. Here we go. So going into this corner, look at the track up ahead. Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of sun glare. It's not terrible yet, but it does get worse the longer we go. So it's starting to come into play. That sun, and look at that. He's loose too. Benefield's a little sideways.
And one more look at this as he runs directly from the driver's eye this time. See, the track does get a lot shinier, a lot brighter. The sun, though, not really in your way yet, but it is threatening. It's sort of threatening to get in your way. You can say that. You do have the feeling that is going to become your problem later today. And if we get a few unlucky cautions, that just only adds to the clock.
Again, I'm looking at this field again. Only 18 cars are one lap down or less, right? 19th, the top 20 are 2 laps down. Robert Miller, who won last week, is running 19th, 2 laps down. Very unorthodox, to say the least.
Benefield on Gidders won the battles. So is Murray on Hutchinson with Clue up just behind in his 3-car train. Wachowski is also quite close to Matt DiCiani. Everyone else sort of running in their very, very own island is Lucas Hoytsma. Can he see Sean Conklin? I think that's Sean Conklin. There's Nicholas Roman right in the middle of that pillar. But I don't think you see Sean Conklin in the middle of the turns. I think he is the next car down the road. But he also sort of knows that like the joy of seeing that is going to disappear relatively soon.
I could not have predicted the way this race is going to go from the get-go, but what I am seeing is Hoytsma and Gitter are getting closer. Remember, Gitter had second place for a long time before he got some of that damage, and now he's actually gaining some ground on Hoytsma. I think that 21 might have something for second place. And if he's able to get there, I mean, moving a car out of the way, probably not going to happen. I think it's going to be just clean racing between these two. They kind of like each other. Take a look at that. That time by Gitter was slightly faster. I think that gap will come down and the 21 will have a shot at taking second. But then again, Conklin's just gone.
There's only so many ways we can say variations on the same thing about Sean Conklin, really.
True.
Like, you know, but it's true every time.
Else,
it's true every single time. We have to point it out. But, you know, eventually we certainly do know. Some drivers taking pit stops now. I believe all these drivers are a lap down. Still not seen one out of that lead group who we do believe should be able to make it. That's what we've been told by Bryce. So we'll see whose prediction comes through. He's the one that drives the car, so honestly he's more onto it than I am. But we will see what happens.
41 to go. Counting it down from Darlington. We're just going to go ahead and take a moment, just let you guys take a look at this raw racing. And just for a couple minutes, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sounds of the cars as they head around.
.37 to go at Darlington. Dominant race. How many times can we say it? Sean Conklin running away, and we come back right on time. That's a car sideways on the track, and our caution goes flying.
Neil Pearson in the 62 going around in turns 3 and 4. Going to bring out yet another yellow. And does that throw a wrench in this? Absolutely it does. Now, whether or not you choose to come down pit road might be a big decision. This just got wild. 63 dove it in there deep and just got in the left rear quarter panel of the 62, but the 63 just dove it in deep. Johnny Avila gets in the back of Neil Pearson.
It is interesting. So it's certainly great for the drivers that haven't stopped on that lead lap. Those that did, they're going to be able to save enough fuel. They're not going to be good on tyres. They might be able to split this strategy now and actually try and stay out and get some track position. Yeah, they'll be slow in the long run, but it's hard to step a pass now, and time's running out on the track.
Now this is a unique situation because all the cars that are on the lead lap, there's only 9 of them, 8 of them really. So because of that, even if you choose to do a strategy, the leader would only be 8 cars behind you. If you were the only one to make the strategy change. And if everybody else went with you, it would not work out well for you, is what I'm trying to say. I think right now what we're going to see is everybody taking 4 tires and gas. I would be surprised if anyone tried anything different inside of the lead lap cars.
Wonder what the cars not on the lead lap are going to do. Here's Yusha Lim. He's also lead lap coming in just quite a bit behind the field. And there's Paul Hill, to be seen not in the pit lane. He's lucky dog, looks like he's going around the track. Lap down cars. We'll see what they do after the cycle is going to be mixed. Now, this has been a pretty low caution race, but next week, I think we're going to be in for the Cautionsville. We go to Martinsville. It's going to be a very different kind of race. One that you're in for a long time and not necessarily a good time.
I disagree. I love Martinsville. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's going to be fun to watch. But look at that. Conklin takes that lead spot again. No doubt about it. Nobody's pulling any strategies to try something different. I think that they kind of know what the situation is and what they got to do. And a lot of cars coming down, including some of the lappers. So it's just a matter of time now. We're just going to see what happens in the final 34 laps of this race. We're going to go green most likely with 32 laps to go, I believe.
Wave arounds to get. I mean, I do actually think. I'm not just the kind to tell you that Martinsville's not a great not a great track. I think it's an incredible part in NASCAR history. But I'm saying that broadcasting it does sometimes lead. It was my first ever production on the Full Length Cup Challenge. I actually do quite a last-minute cover, and it was on last year's, I believe, the second Martinsville race. Might have been the first one, and they went for many an hour, to the point where Bryson had to enforce single file restarts on the field because it was getting that bad. So sometimes it can't just be one of those long races that goes on by. Let's look at the strategy. Raymond Root, he stayed out. Most of the other drivers in his region have made their stop, but Raymond Root is trying to make a big jump on track position here and make it to the end.
They're doubled up, ready for the restart, heading down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4. They're getting ready to go. Remember, it's Hoytsma, Gitter, and Benefield all chasing Conklin, who has been dominant all day today. Once he had a lead, no, he hasn't given it up once. Pace car dives into the pit road as the wave round cars come back around. This is going to be a big one. Keep an eye on it. A big restart. Let's see how it goes. Great restart up front for Conklin. He's getting away as Gitter goes down to the inside of Hoytsma. They're going to be side by side in the one.
Bottom, never the fun place to be. Gitter's made up some good places over the course of this race. He's loose, mid-corner, backs out of it. He's going to give it to Benefield. He's going to get a great run down the back straight.
Cliff Mullins.
Blame P for
Cliff Mullins went around on the front straightaway, but he caught the car, kept going straight. Keep that in mind. We had one car spin, but they're hanging on to it as Conklin leads that lap. And Hoytsma hangs on to second. But like you said, they're still battling side by side for position from third on back, it looks like.
The long train here, but already Conklin is 8 tenths out. What a restart. That might have locked in a definitive win for good. The only thing this robs from him is the opportunity to lap more cars. I think that caution, I don't know if you'll get another lap car now, because it takes quite a while to get back around to, the 10th fastest car on the track, and he only has 30 laps to do it. So a really disappointing result for Sean Conklin. He'll be ruining the day, I think.
We'll see. 30 laps to go when the cross track. It'll be 29. And that group from third on back to maybe 12th looks to be just really tight-knit, kind of stuck together. Hoytsma is really the only one that's gotten away, per se, but it's just single file throughout the whole field. I wish I could say otherwise, but we just single file, folks trying to get runs, trying to prepare. And Raymond Root is the last car on the lead lap, but he's out there on 47-lap old tires.
How long that's going to last. Although actually, it could. I think he's done a strategy here, and it's going to take him quite some time to get lapped in this distance. All he needs to do is hang on the back of the lead lap, and he's made up some good places on the strategy. Because
true, it's actually really smart.
13 minutes of racing on the track. I don't think he's going to get taken by anyone.
No, I don't think so either. I think he might get past maybe by 1 or 2, if any. But I still think it's going to be a net gain for him to do this. I mean, he did a good strat there. As we saw in the wall, goes that car right there. I believe that was Murray.
Things could change very quickly among this field from 2nd to 8th. They're all quite close in line. A little slow on the mid-corner. I think Ralph Hutchinson's been wanting this for a while. He's going to make the shot down the straight. That's a loose race car. Is that Raymond Root?
Who is that?
I'm not sure.
He's way off the pace, way on the apron. Something's going on to that car. I don't know what's going on there. I can't quite tell who it is either.
Down and out. Let's take a look at Cliff Mullins on the restart, by the way. Obviously, it's a really big single file line. There's contact between cars and checks him up, and he actually gets 73, runs into him because of the check up in line. Then we get the car back together.
No caution for that.
Well,
yeah, no caution.
Well, iRacing does not throw them easily on this track, so that would be under Bryson's control. And I imagine that he just figured like that car's going to be facing forward by the time the field comes around because it just restarted.
True. I still think that makes total sense. Yeah, I agree. Needs to stay green for that one. 25 to go. Again, I wish I could say that there was something that's developing somewhere, but I'm not seeing anything. I mean, this is a stereotypical what you expect to see towards the end of the race at Arlington. You're going to start seeing that glare come into play even more for the drivers. That's going to be difficult for them. But I am surprised by how well Hoytsma's sticking to the back bumper of Conklin this time. He's still a second and about 7/10 back, but he's still within 2 seconds. That is better than what we saw the last handful of restarts.
Shame we're not going to be able to talk to Salim unless he pulls off a free car pass miracle because he's up to P6 after it was too many pit boxes on the way in and out that got him his penalty. But a drive-through back to P6 is a driver that absolutely has talent and is going to be a threat for this whole season, I think. It's incredible work to get him there.
Yeah, it's just a recovery day for him, for sure. And I think he can actually get up to 3rd. I think there's a shot. He's got a few seconds to gain to be able to make it happen. Just a little under half a second. But he can do it. 67's fast. He was one of those that was in the top 3 earlier today. He's got a good car. And just in front of him, there's Alex Murray, Benefiel, and then Patrick Gitter is your top 3 right now.
Alex Murray's looking kind of close to Benefiel. Benefiel's been trading a lot of places back and forth, up to 3 and then back down again, and up to 4th, up to 3rd again. Been doing a lot of moving on the track. Always a driver that's fun to listen to in interviews, but we might not get the chance. He's not making up ground at all to get it here. 8 attempts, he's losing it. You could see he's loose on the corner exits. Loose enough that I think Murray's going to get a run very soon if that continues. Is he loose again?
Now, whether or not he's going to get
that
loose.
Car doesn't look like he's driving well.
Not just him, but most cars don't feel like they're driving well after a little while at Darlington. It's hard to make a car feel comfortable here. You know, just because I feel like I need it, and I normally do it once per broadcast, I'm going to do it now. I'm happy with that. There we go, Howie.
We've not heard the jaws. For all of the lapping Sean Conklin has done, you haven't pressed jaws once today.
Yeah, because there's no reason for there's nobody catching Conklin. But you're saying like use jaws for Conklin passing the lappers?
Like catching so many cars, like P10 on the field gets lapped on pace. That's a jaws moment to me.
I'd say American Eagle there. I'll do that. Why not? I don't know. He's lapping cars, driving dang faster than anybody else. This is unusual, man. Full-length Cup Challenge. We see it week in, week out. We got chaotic finishes. We got 19 to go. It ain't over yet. Who knows? Anything could happen. I'm looking throughout the field, trying to find the best battle on the racetrack. And it's so difficult to actually see anything that would be considered close. Right here. Here, Paul Hill. And also Bobby Anderson in the 5. 26 in the 5 if we can get a camera on it.
I've managed to lose Howell, actually, a 5 drivers. Oh, Paul Hill dives it deep into the turn again. This time comes up in front of the 5.
Yep, they were side by side for a little while. Still kind of looking as we go. I love seeing the battles. That's what I'm looking for. But right now, I'm not seeing that many. I mean, actually, the keyword is none. I am seeing none. The car's just doing what they got to do. Maintaining speed. 17 laps to go. It's going to be... They're halfway through the stint for those that came down pit road. 17 to go. 17 on the stint. So they'll drive just the same distance again. And then we'd be done at the end of the race. Conklin's got it by 2.5 seconds. I don't think he's got anything for Conklin right now. Hoytsma's got really nothing right now. We haven't seen that speed go the other direction all day.
Probably the most flawless race we've ever caught in the history of us broadcasting this league. The most flawless.
Totally.
Oh, you Salim, hang in there.
No, he's fine. He just wanted to go visit the Shadow Realm for a minute. He's back. You know, and he's catching Murray. So, I mean, this will be for position, a top 5 finishing spot. And they got to get around these lappers. Look at this. Oh, bad timing, bad timing. Medeiros gets out of the way, but 67 had to change his line slightly. Still going to be 15 to go now. And, I mean, finishing this race on the lead lap feels like an accomplishment. You're right. It's just those that ran flawless races, and well, even with flaws, I mean, Lim back on the lead lap, but finishing on the lead lap would be really the goal here. If it were me, if I was on the track, lead lap would be my goal at this point. Knowing that 11th place is a lap down, that's Jonathan Delaney in the 6th, then yeah, finishing on the lead lap would probably be the best thing in the world.
Delim trying to make it up to P5 on the bottom of Alex Murray. Doesn't quite get it done this time around, but I don't think he's done with his shot at all. I mean, if he's up to P5, he's essentially, he's actually gained places based on his qualifying position already. And he's like 2 points away from his like maximum potential this race, really? It's a good points day for Yusuf Lim. I mean, but this is a track that we've seen it so much. It separates drivers on their skill, on almost nothing else, just on their raw ability to handle the car. Not even being a race you can win on strategy. You can't win this on strategy. You just have to do it on pace.
You got a good point. Just up the road from these two, you see the 83 up there just outside of the picture frame. But this is the closest battle. I mean, the closest battle on the racetrack right now. Outside of the cars getting lapped, this is the closest. So we'll see if that 67 makes the bottom work this time. He's digging, trying everything he can with just 11 laps to go when they cross the stripe next time by.
I think he's going to get this done eventually. Either he gets it done or he makes a tremendous mistake and loses it all. 22 cutting low, trying to block there on corner exit. Alex Murray, I think he knows he's under threat right now. He takes the low line. He's just not quite committed up high, and he's just moving up and down the turns, Alex Murray, right now.
Hold on a minute. This actually, there is a rivalry between these two. I forgot about this. Circuit of the Americas. The 67 got spun out at the top of turn number 1 from that 22 of Alex Murray's back bumper. They don't like each other, guys. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, this is a kind of a repeat. I don't know if the 67 remembers this, but I remember seeing it, and it's what spun him out from having a good finish.
Didn't he get retaliated against the 67?
Yes. Yes, he did.
There was a penalty given out for that at the time, but I reckon that lives more in Alex. Well, now the punishment's been dealt out, I reckon that lives more in Alex Murray's head than it lives in Yusuf Lim's, actually. So he's going to defend
Lim
for
never
all his
actually
life.
went back and got the 23. The 23 and the 67 were mad at each other because the 67 actually dove bomb a corner, and he did make contact, didn't hit anybody.
By the way, that's the 22. So,
it was the other way around, I think. It was the 67 spin. But we got 8 laps to go, 9 laps to go. We're getting down to the end of this thing. Look at this up front. Again, 2.5 seconds for the leader. Let's talk about Conklin for a second again, if we can. Back up to the lead just for a moment. This car right here has been so dang fast today. It kind of reminds me of that Jeff Gordon Pocono win in 2007, where he's just dominant all day, scooting away, and he's running the similar paint scheme. 58 car just has been on another world compared to everybody else. And it's going to show at the end of this race, if he's able to maintain and hang on, that it's making a giant statement that he's going to go for a championship and he's going to try and win it. And he's got a pretty dang good driver behind the wheels. He's got to pass a lap car pretty dang close as the 44 bounces it off the wall. But again, phenomenal run for that car. I'm going to reiterate that so many times today. Hoytsma's done good just to hang close. Patrick Gitter's still recovering from his incident in third as well. Benefield's been riding top 5 most of the day. He'll hang on to that most likely. Murray and Hutchinson, though, that's where the closest battle I think will end up being. As Lim, something happened to Lim. 67.
Yeah, I have
Lim,
seen
he
him
dropped
drop.
off.
I'm finding it. I think he may have had. I said he was either going to get the pass or something very bad was going to happen. Here he is. He's already fallen back a bit from the 22. Is he going to get a knock from that 19? Or even worse, is he going to lose all the air on his spoiler from the 19? Oh.
He's
Does
gone.
he just disconnect out?
He's not.
Oh,
he's not
there
out. He's here.
back, and
But
this is him. This
where
is not me.
he?
This is him, by the way.
But where is he?
But I mean, like he's lost ground, lost positions as well.
Wow. Computer issue and a clock smash for the 67. I thought he had a good shot, but now it looks like he's blocked out. I mean, I've never seen a car blink out and then end up losing 30 plus seconds.
Well,
Odd.
the data seems to show
Very
for
odd.
me. That's a shame.
It is. But again, 3 laps to go. Conklin's got it. Closest battle on track is going to be between Murray and Hutchinson. And, Benefield and Murray. If we can get Benefield and Murray, if we can.
I'm only going to give you a few
This
laps
is the
of
closest we got anybody.
I mean, I don't think he's in
I don't
range
think
to
there's
make the pass either. I mean, it's just 4 attempts, 3 laps, minute at Darlington. Technically, the closest car is Matt DiCiani to Johnny Avila, but I don't even think this will get done in time. It takes so long to work at a pass here.
The change that they made to these cars made them low downforce, high horsepower. Well, higher horsepower. We all know we want to see some more horsepower in this car. You saw right there, 10th place. Actually, 9th place, Raymond Root get lapped.
Gotten close.
Now the leader.
Ralph's gotten close.
Yep.
I'll be honest. Oh, he is.
But the
getting
leader
close.
here is on the white flag. He's going to come to take the white flag this time, Sean Conklin. He's going to cross that stripe. 1 lap to go. We're on the final lap here in the full-length Cup Challenge. Obviously, this guy's just been on another world. So much faster than everybody else. He's going to come out of turn number 2, keep pushing. And we know for a fact that this guy is just dominated this race today. And coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, Sean Conklin is going to be a 2-time winner here in the full-length Cup Challenge. He crosses the stripe and he will win here at Darlington.
Ain't that a sight?
Oh, wrecking up turn 4. It's the 19, I believe, down on the inside wall. He lost multiple spots because of that. That is Ralph Hutchinson. Dropped back to 6th. Patrick Gitter hangs on to 3rd. Benefield 4th. Murray gets 5th.
I think he was just going to make an all or nothing shot for the pass. And he just gets loose. Doesn't actually lose any places to that, I believe. Still finishes P6 over the line.
Very clean race. Words from Bryson Hickson, Bubba. Look at this. The 58 car on the front straightaway. Got the job done. He's doing some burnouts for us here on the front stretch. We'll see if we can't bring him in here and talk to him here shortly. Let's look at our finishing order at this wild race where only 8 cars finished on the lead lap. While he's doing burnouts, finishing order here, you can see Conklin, Hoytsma, Gitter, top 3. We'll hear from those here in a moment. Adam Benefield, another top 5 added to the dang roster. Alex Murray, 5th. Ralph Hutchinson, 6th. Paul Hill, 7th. Jun Salim will get 8th. Raymond Root will get 9th, and Jonathan Delaney will come down to get 10th.
Lines up ahead of Alex Coffey, Alan Duggar, Johnny Avila, Bobby Anderson. Look at a backwards shift around the track behind. Matt DiCiani's in 15th ahead of Robert Miller, Andrew Dyson, Tanner Marty, Cody Moore and Paul Gallimore. We're all laps down already.
And then Timothy Harper, Brandon Hastings, to Casey Graves, Kevin Zosiak, Nicholas Vroman get involved in an accident early. Evan Mesnard, Thomas Komachewski, Neil Pearson, Stephen Williams, and Blake Kluwa round out your top 30 finishers.
There's a few more. I mean, we're starting to encounter drivers that have problems now, but Cliff Mullins, Jose Medina, and Devin Medeiros all finished the race. Tyler Hunter, a few more down. Then it's drivers with incidents: William Owens, Jeremy B. Brown, Cody Porter, Nolan Hodgson, Sean Anderson, Cody B. Johnson, Matthew David Wood, Jason S. Taylor, and Hunter Trill wiped out on the first lap. It feels like it was a lifetime ago.
It sure does, but let's go ahead and bring him in. Sean Conklin, Kirk Mills in the booth. We talked to you at the end of the first stage, but you just dominated the entire race here at Darlington. How's it feel to get the job done here?
Oh, it feels great. Yeah, you don't get a race like that too often. That was just one of the best races that I've personally put together. Yeah, just absolute rocket ship of a car. I mean, on every single circumstance, short run, long run, just anything. Just super proud to get it done.
Man, I mean, I have been broadcasting the Full Length Cup Challenge for the last 2 years, and I could say there has not been a more dominating race in those 2 years from any driver I've ever seen. And there's only been a total of, it looks like, 5 races in the past that were as nearly as dominant, but those weren't the Full Length Cup Challenge. That was a different iteration of this series. Now you've come out here and you just showed everybody up. You had a great car, great driver behind the wheel. And I got to ask you, when you came into the weekend, did you expect to actually have any of this happen? Did you feel like you had this much speed behind you? Or was this something that came out of nowhere, Sean?
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of speed all week. I knew that we could do something really good with it here if we got some long green flag runs, and we definitely did. I wish it would have. I wish that whole last stage would have gone green. I felt like we could have gotten an even bigger gap than we did the first 2 stages, but unfortunately we got a few yellows, and that kind of threw a wrench in our big gap plans. But nevertheless, still executed on every run and just a whole lot of speed in this car.
I got to ask you, what are you going to do now that you won this race? You going to go celebrate with your team, or what's your story? And also, anybody you want to shout out?
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, I mean, a race like that is pretty rare. It doesn't come often, no matter how good you are. You got to have a really good car, really good circumstances, and everything has to go your way. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna take this one in. This is a really, really cool race to be a part of, to win. And yeah, just again, thank you to everybody at Rayco for this setup this week. Absolute ripper. And Nolan, who I got wrecked out pretty early, put a whole lot of time into this car, getting it where it is. And absolutely big shout out to him. Gossip Bus Lines, Rennie Bell Construction, Mobile One, Best One Tire. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, Sean, before I go, I'm just curious. You've raced in a lot of different series in your career. You've bounced around big races. What do you think about the Full Length Cup Challenge and so far in your first handful of races?
I definitely like the long race. Obviously, that's the whole goal of the series. Just wish we had a few less cautions so far, and man, just really loving the green flag runs that we do get. I almost wish that stages weren't in this league, but then that wouldn't be very realistic. But no, definitely pretty fun.
I agree with you. I understand, man. But thanks again for talking with us and congrats on the win. We'll see you next week if you head out to Martinsville.
Thank you.
Yep, you got it. All right, that was our first place finisher, but now we got Lucas Hoitzman joining us up here in the booth with Howie. Go right ahead.
I mean, it's easy, Lucas, to talk about how first place had the measure over you, but let's focus on the positives here. That was a very, very strong, fast race at Darlington.
Yes, definitely my most solid race this season. Most solid race I've had in quite some time. Just ton of stage points, a P2, about as close as you can get to a win. It's just I felt so good tonight, but this might have been a snoozer from the audience point of view, but I could tell you this was nothing easy for us. I am completely exhausted right now. You'll never see another show of endurance and mental fortitude anywhere on iRacing. It is so tough here, and just to have to race these guys the whole time too. I mean, he was not letting me take it easy there in those last 30 laps. So I had to fight for everything. I can't move my wrists anymore. But that 58 car, I don't know what they did that to that thing, but it should be outlawed, man. I don't know.
I'll challenge one thing you said. There will be a bigger test of endurance. It'll be the 500 miler around here later this season, isn't it? Isn't it a treat to go twice? How does the car handle around here with the extra horsepower?
Oh, it is a complete handful. Yeah, you're right. Another 100 miles is going to be even worse. And if it's the same come the fall, yeah, it's so tough. You can't go full throttle off the corner. It's impossible. You have to kind of feather it. And then once you get in that late run, the car wants to spin around sometimes entering the corner. It wants to go straight up to the wall sometimes. It all depends on who's in front of you and how you drove it in. It's completely crazy. And it is just so much better than it used to be. It is so much more fun and it's so much more challenging. And I had a blast tonight.
Any other thank yous or shout outs to wrap up the day for you?
Yeah. Big shout out to my family for watching. Big shout out to everybody over at Low Drag Esports, Black Flag Motorsports, RHM, all the guys. It's so good to be able to bring this speed every week, and everybody else who puts this thing on. This was a super fun night here in Darlington.
P2 for Lucas Heitzmer. It is an impressive result in one of the some of the most dominant racing among our top three. I think I moved into the wrong place. There he goes. Okay, I'll leave you with Patrick Gitter, our P3 racer, probably the one that actually had some of the more battling to get here.
Yep, Patrick Gitter, Kirk Mills in the booth, got a copy.
Yes, sir, I got you.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing, man? Got third place today. A little bit of damage sent you towards the back, but you recovered well to get a podium spot. Got to ask you, man, have you ever raced in a Darlington race like that before?
Man, I don't. Probably it's just that one actually wasn't too bad. I felt like we had some good green flag runs.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah,
rare.
I mean, it was. I mean, I'm sure it was a heck of a lot better than most of the officials that people would have seen this week. So that's the benefit of these league races, and you can typically rely on that a little better. So, yeah, I mean, overall it was good. It was too bad we got turned there into one. We went back, and I mean, especially as important as track position is here, I think. If that wouldn't have happened, we probably got held on to second for a while. I mean, we had a really strong car stage one, so I was pretty optimistic at that point. We had a podium car, which it shook out like that. But yeah, I mean, overall, pretty good race, I felt like.
Well, Patrick, gonna ask you too. I mean, you came back, but you saw the cars that you were battling with. If you had a clean car, do you think you would have had any shot for Conklin or anything? And I also got to ask you as well, did you have fun today?
Man, I didn't have anything for Sean. He was flying. Early race, I was just gonna see if I could hold on to clean air when he went around me there. But once he went by stage one, and I saw that he had the pace he had, and that he could sustain it, I was like, man, I think we're racing for second here tonight, which is what it was. I mean, Sean ran a great race. He had great pace. And yeah, I mean, a lot more fun tonight. I was a lot of fun up until stage one, and then it was difficult getting back through the field towards the end of the race, just because it is so difficult to pass. And then there at the end, I kind of got here. There's a buffer of about 6-7 tenths where you just get locked in dirty air if you don't have a particular advantage with your car versus the guy in front of you. So I started to feel a lot of that there at the end, and really tried to push to get up to Hoytsma, but just couldn't get it done, with the way dirty air here is.
Well, again, thank you so much for talking with us, Patrick. Is there anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, man. First, you guys in the booth for calling the race. Bobby for running this league. I always look forward to it on Saturday nights. They do a great job running everything here with the league. Teammates Matt and Derek. Matt put together another great card this week. Shout out to him. I mean, that's back-to-back weeks where you've had podiums, and despite some adversity, we made it happen. So I feel like there's been quite a few races where we've had to come back from that. So just speaks to the cars we're able to bring each week. That's about it. So appreciate it, guys.
Yep. Thank you, Patrick, again for talking with us, and we'll see you next week in Martinsville. Best of luck to you there.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Of course, that was Patrick Gitter. And that will conclude our top 3 finishers here today. Howie, holy cow, what a race did we just get through. I got to say, dominant was the understatement of the day. And clean driving, you don't get to see that very often. But what'd you think about it, Howie?
Darlington's a track that scares me, and it can produce a lot of things. It can produce mad races where nobody can get their car on the track, and it can produce domination where one driver's a class of the field. I prefer the second kind. Prefer the second kind of race where someone actually gets to show their skill. So I'll take that on the track for it certainly shows driver skill, the likes of which we've sort of never seen before, and you have to respect that.
Yep, that's for sure, Howie. Thanks again so much for coming in and watching the full-length Cup Challenge here live on Maconi Entertainment for the FLCC Nostalgia 400. What a race! And thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I'm Kirk Mills alongside Howie Burrows, who is producing and commentating today. Man, we cannot wait for Martinsville. Be there next week, Saturday night. We'll have a good time. And same time as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.